us going into that concert, it was kind of Mina, and then when I left, it was all Gio. It was all Gio.
Shout out.
From there and back, like she's the background of my phone right now. Like it's just she's it's all Gio.
Gio's feet or
No,
That's what I'm talking about.
you're making the problem worse.
just a joke.
You have 12 individuals, and I know we love to see like, well, their family, of course. Sure, but dreams change and wants change in a person individually.
And not only that, she said The Weeknd invited her specifically. Like he went to talk to her and said, I want you on the show. She probably felt like, yo, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a big deal for me. Okay, so man, here we are again. Is this a podcast? Ace said this is number 6.
Already?
I know, right?
I was just looking at this too because we was talking about it the other day.
Gotta carry the one.
No, so hold on. So yeah, I believe this is 6
Okay.
because this is going to be like the 7th one, but we did a 2-parter with different
shut up.
this is the 6th. There we go.
Okay.
I'm sorry, y'all.
So we have some interesting topics, man. We're gonna talk about LOONA. We're gonna talk about Jennie, and we got a fun topic to talk about. But before we get into that, man, we got a special guest with us today. We got KpopPrince, man. What's going on?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. Always wanted to be on a podcast, so this is really nice.
That's dope, man. So before we get started, somebody from your Discord asked me to ask you an uncomfortable question.
Oh, dang.
Like that.
Oh,
So
Why?
I can't. I didn't write down the name, but they'll probably tell you in their Discord. But they told me to ask you about your foot fetish.
Oh my God! I can't believe you're bringing this
that's
up.
how we started today.
Yo,
That's
shout
how
out
we
to feet
started.
Okay.
and toes.
No,
This is from your Discord.
This is bad. This is bad. See, it's a running joke on our Discord. I kind of like to be the punching bag. I think that's really fun, especially when you're like, I don't want to say that because it's weird, like the talent, the person on camera in some way.
Yeah.
I like to be the punching bag in some ways. I think it's fun for your community. And that's a running joke. And I always say, like, man, if there are lurkers in here, or if this gets out to YouTube and people like think this, which, hey, no hate. You have your own thing. That's cool.
That's
like,
fact.
if you're into that, that's awesome. I'm not. So then, like, but hey, it's cool. Whatever. I'm gonna find out what your name is, and we'll take care of it.
That was talking about. There we go.
You are banned.
You're banned.
Oh man,
That's an icebreaker right there.
Big ice.
right.
Oh God.
So KpopPrince, you came through. You were on the Tune Trials.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Rough showing for me, although I have qualms. I have qualms about this.
Let us know.
Hey, if I knew that I could just start riddling off names, like,
There we
like
go.
it was rapid fire. In my head, it was like the one answer I give. That's it. That's it.
Hey.
Meanwhile, people are like, "Let's like, who's a K-pop artist? Let me list.
There we
who else?"
go. Wikipedia.
Oh man,
It's a different world when them lights are on. So look, I'm with you.
True,
I'm the
true.
same as that way. You put them lights and them cameras and put a time in front of me. you barely get a from me.
Once you get in that hot seat, everything you're like, oh, I know,
Like, all right.
yeah. So it's okay.
you probably watched it back like, how didn't I get that? But yeah, like seriously speaking, people don't understand. Like, you know it until you're asked.
Yeah.
And when you're asked, all of a sudden you really draw a blank because that, like you said, the timer ticking is like, I don't know. It just does something to you where you're just like, I just forgot it. I knew what it was a second ago.
Just think of it like taking a test in school. Like you just looked at your answer sheet prior to the exam, and now it's down in front of you, Now put a camera on you while you're taking that test. That's what it's like. That is what it's like.
Or when the teacher is standing right behind you.
Right there.
Yep. Yep.
Sure you want to put that down there?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about that.
Yeah, so how did you get started doing K-pop reactions, Prince?
Oh man. So I was always like a real casual K-pop fan. So all the way back starting in like 2008. So
nice.
Girls' Generation's G was my first K-pop song. And it started off how I think it is for a lot of people, especially maybe back then when it was just less prevalent, where you hear it and it's so foreign and different to your normal taste that you're like, this is strange. I don't like this. And then you come back to it and you're like, I kind of just want to hear that song again. Okay, wait, I like this. All right, I do like this. And you just come to terms with it, especially back then when I'm 17 years old back then and very opinionated. So yeah, it was kind of a growing thing for me. So it's like I knew that, and then like Twice's debut and some older songs like some GOT7 songs. I casually kept up with it, but never knew much about it until like 2018 when I started getting more into it, and that's when I really started to understand the industry and how it works and how the training process is and the whole machine. And I found it so very interesting and so different from my normal flavor of music that it was really a positive thing because I usually like much darker, depressing music. So it was a nice change of pace. And then come the pandemic, the Stray Kids comeback, which again, of course, I missed on the tune trials. Of course, God's Menu was coming up and I was so excited. None of my friends are into this like whatsoever, and I wanted to share it with somebody. So I was like, I'll try the whole reaction thing. So that's kind of how it came to be.
That's cool.
Man, that's actually really dope story.
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
God's Menu, the joint that had everybody falling out of their seats.
So that was your first reaction video, God's Menu?
My first reaction video, I think, actually was prior to that. I think it was their song. It was either the trailer, the teaser to God's Menu, or it was their song Top, their Japanese track.
Okay.
So it was one of those two, which don't go back and watch those. Don't go back and watch those. It's a production. I'm being lit by just one lamp in my room.
Oh yeah.
I used to have the sun coming in, and I used to have a piece of cardboard with tinfoil over it.
There you go.
To then go off and to light myself.
Wow.
That's straight up of YouTube University, man. You know,
Yeah.
use organic light and then get something to reflect that light. You're good.
That's an origin story theme. Like,
Oh, yes.
when he said that, it just makes me think of Hustle and Flow when they went they went to the fast food restaurant to get the cup holders.
The cup holders.
And they were stapling them to the wall for soundproofing.
Yes.
Using the back of the Capri Suns.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. That's cool. That's great.
Absolutely. So after you did that first reaction, do you remember what the initial like vibe was from from the comments?
From the comments, it was mostly I find that in reactions, people are so excited to teach you and to help you discover. That is a big factor. So people are always so very helpful and very nice, and it's all very positive. I was responding, to every comment I could. I'm someone who is definitely a bit more introverted. Me being in front of the camera, not my typical vibe. I'm a relatively quiet person. So doing this is it was a big jump for me, to put yourself out there in that way. So to get positive feedback early on, felt really, really nice and just
That's cool.
slightly validating of just, maybe you can do this. 'Cause for so many years I had wanted to do some form of, put out there yourself content, a singular creator kind of thing, whether it be with video games or what have you. But my idea in the back of my head was always you're no entertainer. Don't try it. And I don't know. I necessarily don't think I'm amazing at what I do, or they're just reactions. But hey, they make my day. They make some other people's day, and that's enough for me. So
Yeah.
Do you remember which reaction that it was that you were just like, man, my channel is actually working? Do you remember which reaction that was that
I think it was as I started to routinely check out the same group. So like as I'm like doing almost to where it feels like you're following up on episodic content, like checking out all that Idol has to offer, all that's say like when we're getting to day 6 very early on, that it felt like I started to see the same names and faces of like, oh, people are coming back. So that's important. You definitely have your one-offs that just pop off. Like I think I remember my Blackpink's ice cream video did like 70,000 views in the first handful of days, which that's like crazy for me. So I was like, this is unbelievable. But that is always very isolated. Having those big peaks only help you so much. They don't really turn into more subscribers or more loyal supporters. It's really when I started the Discord and started the Patreon and had people that now I know by name and that I can put a group to of I know they love this, and you have a core support. That's what I'd always say. Like I would rather have, the 500, to 1,000 really great core supporters than 500,000 subs or anything like that. It feels intimate and nice. And I like small creators that know you by name and take their time to interact with you. And I've always kind of wanted to be that. So it's been nice thinking at least that I do that.
So I'm guessing that interaction back and forth kind of keeps you wanting to do it just because of that community, that sense of community and everything like that.
Absolutely. I think community is huge in K-pop because that's kind of what this is all about. For me, it was forming something to where I didn't have it previously. My friends are not into this. We come from a background of loving like metal and hardcore music and maybe some like pop punk or that was our shit, going to hardcore shows and things. So K-pop could not be more the antithesis of that, and that definitely it's bright. Yeah, it's a big switch. And that's what I loved it for, though. It was giving me something different. It was giving me positivity in a time during the pandemic where there wasn't a lot of it. So it was very soothing and therapeutic to have that. And then having the community on top of that, people to talk to, especially now, it feels almost like I'm in a second pandemic because I just moved across the country not too long ago by myself, no friends, no family where I am. And it's very isolating, but having that community keeps you going, keeps you sane in some way from feeling the cabin fever. So the community is super big and important to me in that way specifically.
Amen.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm connecting with you, because I'm also from the Shy Guy community. You know what I'm saying? I know, being on camera is definitely something that's very unique. So I want to ask you, like, how was it like coming up with your name? KpopPrince. For us right now, I feel like a K-pop professor. But how was it coming up with the name itself?
So this is funny. People in my Discord right now are laughing about this because anytime I were to make a comment or say something that goes against the grain, as we were talking before we filmed, is people saying this guy calls himself a K-pop prince. He only scored he only scored 69 points in the tune trials. He doesn't know shit. Like,
yeah, people were a little upset.
Oh my gosh,
guys, it's my name. It's my last name.
Oh dang!
It's my literal name. It's just with K-pop in the front. Like that's all it is. I'm not calling myself. Yeah, I'm not calling myself the prince of anything. It's just literally my name.
And they'll still get mad.
Yeah, they'll still get mad.
Yeah, they'll still get mad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I really wish everybody that said that I can just be like, okay, let's put you in the seat real quick for a couple minutes, because I just want people to understand, like, everybody that we do, they always say the same thing, like, man, you sent me the video and this should look easy. But as soon as I sat down, it's just like, man, it's like a lot to take in. And it's not until like later in the game when you kind of get settled in
that rhythm
and you kind of get used to it, you kind of start ignoring the fact that you're on camera and you can kind of take it in that you can, it starts clicking and starts making sense. So, people gonna see it as Twice concert when we start walking up on people like, hey.
Oh yeah, we got quiz them.
Because if they don't get it, then, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I mean, doing reactions in general, it's amazing how both easy and how incredibly difficult this can be at the same time.
Yeah.
You break down any job to its spare parts. It could sound easy. Oh, you sit down in front of a camera and you watch a video and just say some things. You could break down anything like that and make it sound very, very trivial. But to then mix that in with like, well, these are very positive videos. Make sure you're in a good mood. Make sure you're talkative. Don't miss on that first viewing, that only viewing that you might get. Don't miss something because you'll be grilled by it. Like all of that is going on in your minds. So it's way harder than it really does look. And I don't know if anyone thinks that, just give it a try. Like you can just have a camera and a microphone. Just give it a shot.
To me, the toughest part about what you just mentioned is, for me, it's like paying attention to the video and trying to pay attention to the lyrics at the same time. Because it's just usually like, it's a lot. And usually I'm focused on one more than the other. And like you said, we normally, we had kind of had a phase where we were always saying like, hey, this is our first reaction. We kind of stopped saying it. But in general, most people understand. Obviously, it's the minority that doesn't get it. But it's like you usually don't catch things until like you go back and you might check it out again. Like, hey, I missed that. Or you might actually be like the only reactor that called something out and you don't really get credit for being the person that saw that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it is a huge undertaking. And I think people think, it's not the most difficult thing, but it's not as easy as people think it is.
Not at all. Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot to kind of get everything in that. I mean, it's a lot going on, a lot of different sounds and things of that nature. And sometimes you just don't get it the first go around. Like, I've been looking at the Thriller album my whole life. I didn't know Michael Jackson had a zipper on the whole time. I thought it was a button up. You know? So it's like you always kind of.
Oh, you're talking about the hoodie thing.
The little hoodie.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I just found it out too. When I saw that post, I was like, oh, wow.
I found that out a few weeks ago too. Yeah.
That's how art works. You know what I mean? That's when you know you have a masterpiece, is when people can't figure it out all in one setting. To me, that's a good thing. You know, if you didn't catch everything the first time.
The worst though is when you're on like the cutting room floor and you're editing the video and you're like, son of I
should have caught that. You know?
Yeah.
I thought interesting. You say you come from like a metal type background and everything like that. I imagine there must have been some balancing that had you come to K-pop. Like describe what got you coming back to K-pop. I know you say you were casual into it at first, but like I'm always interested to hear people's story with why they keep coming back. I just find that so interesting. So what's your take on that?
Yeah. So for me, initially, of why maybe I became casual at first was just for the K-pop knows how to deliver a hook. They know how to reel you in and to become an earworm in your brain that you do not forget a melody or something like that. That is what it's so good at. But also what K-pop does is revitalize something that I have missed for so long, and that is the music video.
Okay.
The music video is so important. I mean, MTV and music videos were huge back in the day, watching Beavis and Butthead in the 90s, you know?
Oh, shut up.
Like that was totally like a big thing. And then they started to just completely disappear, or people weren't putting in as much efforts. And K-pop was always there to make sure we're going to go all the way with this. We're going to do it like we're going to go to 11. And I always loved that, and seeing that was always a big part of it. But I guess what really got me hooked in for good was like I guess a lot of people, like BLACKPINK was definitely the group that I started to now find out about each member individually and check out their like variety stuff that they have and learn about where they've come from and how the business works. And I think that the industry of K-pop is so unique in that way, from how you become from trainee to debuting, but also all the cultural aspects that are integrated within that is so unique. And I never wanted to lose that. But it's something that is really interesting to me. And I'm always someone that loves not only music, but indulging in just other cultures and learning about other walks of life. And it's a way that I could kind of do both at the same time. Yeah. And I just find that amazing. It makes you, I find it makes you more well-rounded as a person in general. So that was definitely a way that, or a reason that I kept coming back.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I mean, we really don't see like the music countdown shows over here no more. That's all over there, and they still focus on the videos and everything like that. I mean, out here, I feel like now it's more of the independent artists and everything like that
Yeah, trying to make
focus
a
on
mark.
the music video craft, because that's usually what's going to make them go viral or make them get noticed if they have something that's standing out.
Right.
But in the mainstream media, it's not really important no more. Over here, that is.
I
So
agree.
yeah, I understand that. That's a very, very great point.
I have a question for you. So as a reactor, you know, we do something that's kind of unique. As far as, you know, we're on the camera and things of that nature, have followings. How has like reacting changed you in your personal life or K-pop in general? Like this whole journey, has it impacted you in your personal life? Have you seen anything different that you've seen since you started?
Personal life, like how has it maybe affected me personally, like as a person or in my like day-to-day life?
Yeah, as like a person, you know.
As a person, definitely being more open-minded in general, being I guess understanding that if there's something that you don't like at first, that doesn't mean you're never going to like it. It's maybe just new to you. It's maybe doing something a bit differently. And you always have to maybe understand where things are coming from in some way. So I think that's something big. The positivity aspect is just huge for me because, like I said, I usually come from a background of listening to either depressing or very angry music. It's usually one of those two.
I feel you.
Usually one of those. So having that kind of positivity is so very nice. I'd say mostly those, and also just the fact that in general of reacting, the putting yourself out there thing, trying to become more confident as a person in that way, I think is a huge, huge factor and something that's very difficult for someone that is more introverted. But I think it's really beneficial. And why, you know, you don't need to turn this into anything. You don't need to make this become a side hustle or a job in any way.
Right.
Do this for fun. Like I would really recommend it to anyone to just go on camera and to try and put their voice out there, because you have interesting things to say as well and worthwhile things that maybe no one else is speaking about right now. And I think there are never necessarily too many voices. And I really encourage people to go out there, whether it be reacting and doing K-pop stuff or doing your Let's Plays and playing video games. You know, just do it. It's easier today than ever, ever before.
So I'm curious. I mean, so we all know, right, that you're a huge Orbit and Loona's your favorite group.
Absolutely.
How did Loona become your favorite group, and who is your bias in the group?
Oh wow. Second one is tough these days. Okay, so how did Loona become my favorite group? So I didn't get on the ground floor, as we know. Like Loona had the long, really ambitious pre-debut project beforehand. I always had wished that I was on that ground level because it must have been so sweet to finally, you know, reap the rewards of seeing them debut and these members you've grown to love to achieve that. But I got on right before Butterfly, like right around Butterfly time. So that was like March of 2019, I think, something like around there. And it was just so unique of a music video and a song, especially at that moment. That was unlike anything I had personally heard in K-pop. And I had always felt like early on, again, I wouldn't say now, but early on, there was a level of pop in general being slightly surface level. And I'm like, well, it's K-pop. It's slightly surface level. It's meant to be fun. That was definitely my thought very early on. And it was one of the groups where I was like, there's so much more here. There's so much more to this. There's a lot of depth that I've come to find now in plenty of groups, many groups, as my mind has been opened. And seeing that music video and going to learn how they had this big, elaborate like lore and all of that. And there were so many things in the videos you could point out and pick out. And it was just so very exciting. It was so much fun. You could really easily get swept up in it. And also, I would just say that in terms of like the producers and who they worked with early on, like Monotree, that type of stuff is just right up my alley. I'm a synth boy. I love me some synth, some complex like depth in the track, and that's what they always gave me. So they really hooked me in early with that. In terms of the bias question, that's tough. I would say I've got 12 of them, but but really early on, it was definitely Olivia, because I loved how she was one of the first that I had seen that was really a no nonsense idol. She didn't take shit, and she was really like when someone would on a variety show ask her to do Aegyo or ask her to do something she didn't want to, she'd be like, I'm not going to do that. No, she would say no. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. I like that. More recently, it's really been Cherry a lot because Olivia has kind of been MIA in a lot of ways for understandable reasons. And you kind of need that two-sided coin in a way. Olivia is a bit to herself and a bit darker in some ways, and Cherry is the opposite, brightness personified, the sun. And that's why themselves in the group are two really good friends. Opposites attract, I guess. So I would say mostly those two, but it's really difficult to decide in that group.
Do you have a favorite male group?
So because as I started my channel, you would assume Stray Kids, and it definitely was for quite a while. But not anymore, unfortunately. I mean, I still love Stray Kids. I absolutely do. But ATEEZ is my group these days. Those are my guys, man. They put out such great music. I've seen Stray Kids twice live. I've seen ATEEZ twice live. I'd say ATEEZ, at least at this point, I haven't seen a ton of groups live, but they are the best live performing group I've ever seen. Wow. Absolutely astounding. They have such great energy, and they were on that precipice of becoming my favorite group, and this newest album is so good that that's what did it. That's what did it.
What do you think of Jungho's live vocals?
Oh my god, so good. But you know what? So Jungho's my bias in ATEEZ. Dude, I love him. He's great. He has such a great dry sense of humor. He's so witty and funny, but kind of understated in that way. It's the kind of humor I love. His vocals are insane. He's got his angry look that he's always throwing at the camera, no matter what.
No matter what.
But in terms of live vocals, I want to give a quick shout out to Songhwa. Songhwa live is so underrated. He sounds so good live. Some of his like vocal flourishes that he'll do just are astonishing. That group is crazy. And like I saw them at KCON last year, and they were the first group to go on, and they did like 8 songs, whereas everyone else was doing like 3. It's because they were just like, boom, next one, boom, next one. I'm like, these guys are machines. They are machines.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, Songhwa was acting a fool at our show.
And I recently just watched a video of them drunk. Oh my god!
Oh yeah, that's part of their Wanties show.
Yeah,
I've been watching a couple episodes of that, but I'm only on like episode 4.
They are some characters.
Yeah, I hear great things.
Oh yeah,
that's hilarious.
They some fools, man. So, aside from LOONA, right? There's got to be somebody else. If out of all the new groups that have came out in the last 12 months,
there we go.
Like which girl group has been hooking you? I mean, we got the New Jeans, we got the Le Seraphims, we have the N Mixes. Like who is talking to you? The Ives, Stacey is more than a year out, I think, right?
Yeah.
So
they were 2020, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So out of all the new groups, the Keplar's, who's speaking to you?
How much time you got, man? So like early on with doing this channel thing, you're like, I'm gonna spread wide. I'm gonna do everything. You realize that soon becomes way too much and almost impossible. And I still fail at it as I attempt to do it. And I've just slowly understood that, okay, definitely have a girl group bias. Like that's a thing. Like I definitely bias more the girl groups than the male groups, but then there are those male groups that are very, very important to me. There are your ATEEZ, your Stray Kids, your Shinies, your Pentagons, your B2Bs that I really love, really love. Pentagon especially, shout out, underrated. But if you're gonna list all those, it's tough. So like if we're doing a year out, that makes it a lot easier. If it's a year out, definitely pointing at Le Seraphim. Absolutely. They're the one. And I do really enjoy the music a lot, but I've never seen a group that I've fallen in love with the members and their chemistry so quickly than these members. They are so likable. and you just want to see them succeed. And they're great performers as well. So they would have to be my pick for that.
Do you have a bias in LE SSERAFIM?
Chaewon, definitely Chaewon.
She is.
Yeah,
she's a great leader.
Yeah, she's a great leader. She has so many different sides to her. She's completely adorable off stage and so bright and likable. And then on stage becomes a completely different person. And I think she really wanted to show that off too in debuting in LE SSERAFIM, because I'm not super familiar with IZ*ONE as a group themselves and as a unit. More the members as they dispersed into their other groups or solo acts nowadays. But I think that she was kind of given, especially because they were way younger, the more cutesy role, of course. And now she's showing such an edge to her on stage that I think that she's really wanted to for quite a bit and pulling it off. But there are so many great colors to that group. You have Yoonjin, who kind of gives you that indie, like rocker with a guitar type girl, the singer-songwriter kind of vibe, where she's writing her own stuff and is so aloof. There's a lot to love there with LE SSERAFIM.
I got a question. I think I want to start asking everybody.
Uh-oh.
No, it's not that. It's not like that.
Is it the foot fetish thing?
No.
There we go.
No,
that shoe side.
No, but just like a big, like, you know, future picture thing. Like, what do you like want to be remembered for as far as reacting wise? You know what I mean? Like when not saying like you hang up your headset and turn off the camera, but like, what do you want K-pop fans to, because I feel like we're a little bit more important to the K-pop scene than we realize. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we'll even see in the comments like, hey, I wouldn't even have checked this out if you guys hadn't reacted to it. And sometimes we point out things that somebody that's watching the video the first time may not have seen. And, you know, we add stuff, we add replayability to things. We point out some Easter eggs that some people may not know, even though we are still learning at the same time. So I'm just curious, like, what do you want to be remembered for, you know, as far as your reacting goes?
Okay,
I know
that's it's a good question. It's a big one, because I never truly think of me. I always stay very like humble in this way, and I don't think I'm anything big by any means. I keep a very modest subscriber count and everything like that. But I would say kind of for the reasons that I started this channel, in that I want to give you maybe that feeling that you're just enjoying something right there, sitting on the same couch with your friends. Give you that kind of experience. I'm not saying that I am some music producer doing something, or like I have some background in film, as I was a film major, so I could point out some things sometimes in the video. But largely, I want to give you that kind of comforting feeling of just watching something with a friend and feeling like you have company sometimes. And I think nowadays, as we become more technologically advanced and also in the same direction, more isolated in that way, that, hey, you're sitting down to eat dinner and you need some company, having that is some form of comfort that I think is really, really essential and very nice to have. So I would say that aspect. If I could shed light on some things or bring something up about a video or a song that maybe you never thought of originally, that is like great praise to me, to be able to somehow do that for somebody. But I have also heard from some people that, hey, like with LOONA, I would have never got into them if it weren't for this reaction or this video that you did. And that's always so nice to hear, that especially for my favorite groups that I really want to champion for people, that if I was their conduit to that group, it is a really satisfying feeling in that way, that maybe you are really helping this group in some way. Some people might yell at you and say, hey, wait 24 hours for this reaction because you're stealing money from them. But I think overall we're doing...
You're definitely not stealing any money.
Definitely not stealing any money.
All of that.
Oh, listen, YouTube has paid me like $100 in the last 12 months. So yeah, to feel that you could have some kind of direct impact on a group, even in the smallest minute way, I think is really nice. But personally for me, my idea of my channel, a lot of people try to frame theirs in unique ways, which you should, because there's so much of this. There's so much of this happening. But for me, it's always been, I'm just a fan like you. That's it. I'm not anyone that's above or below. I don't have a degree in this or that, or have worked in this industry or that. I'm just a fan like you who maybe wants to add sometimes here and there a little bit more substance, analytical, whatever, when I can. But largely, let's do that and also geek out over our favorite groups. That's kind of the vibe I want to bring.
Oh, answer.
Nice.
This one is a selfish one.
Mhm.
You went to the Twice concert.
I did.
First question, how was it?
Mm.
Who was your bias going into the show, and did you get wrecked during the concert?
So this is my second time seeing Twice. I saw them last year on Long Island in February. That was my first time. I had a seat, man. Boy, did I have a good seat there. I was like fourth row.
Wow.
I had a great seat this time too. Not as good. I don't know what it was. I mean, Twice is still mega popular as they were then, but stuff was expensive this time. It was real expensive, but I still had a great seat. And going into the first one last year, I call them my soft biases. And that's when I first get into a group to where I'm like, I'm kind of feeling this person, but you can't say it that early. That would be the only one. There's been one person in the history of K-pop that's like, boom, right away, first song. And that was Minnie in La Ta Ta. And her one line, I was like, that's it. But as for Twice, going into that concert, it was kind of Mina. And then when I left, it was all Geo. It was all Geo.
Shout out.
From there and back, like she's the background of my phone right now. Like it's just it's all Geo.
Geo's feet or
No,
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Get a
you're
foot
making the problem worse.
just a joke.
Everybody, it's a joke.
Okay.
Yeah, we checked out the concert, the Korea concert, for our Patreons, and I've been Shea Young since day one that I've fallen in love with Twice, and Gio's been like right under, right, and I've had Dion like right there after Gio, and man, Gio just murdered me that whole show. I was just like, oh my god, what the hell is she doing? And she's just an incredible performer, and just watching that, because we always broke. We was like, we going to this concert.
Oh yeah.
So we ended up buying
go.
tickets to the concert again.
Yes.
But all of us were like in awe of Gio. I think I can speak for all of us. We were all in awe of Gio during that concert, and it was just like, what is she on? Like, she killed the first. Like, when we saw them, she was not playing.
No.
Yeah.
But this, because I think, didn't she run off the stage and got mad because she couldn't sing a part, and she came back and then had to sing? I don't know. I watched so many videos from that show.
Yeah.
My wife was yelling the whole concert, screaming the whole Twice concert.
You can hear it on our vlog too. She was like,
but yeah, during the Soul concert for the Ready to Be, I think Gio killed everybody here.
I think it's just her. She commands your attention.
Yeah, she's 5.
And I mean that in a good way. It's just like she wants you to listen to her.
Yeah.
And she wants you to hear how good
Yeah,
she sounds, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
I can sing for real, y'all.
yeah, you know, and I just love that. But she does it with such, professionalism and grace, where she's just literally just on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can't wait to see her perform live again. I can't wait.
And she low-key kind of wears her emotions on her sleeves. Like, you can kind of see it in her performances. Like, if the mic is kind of off a little bit, she gonna show it in them facial expressions. Like, and start screaming, I'm like, yeah, you're gonna hear me.
I feel like Gio's gonna be the one to be like Beyonce, and when somebody messes something up,
Oh, yeah.
she gonna give you that look.
That's the one.
And it's gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, Gio. I'm sorry. Let me fix this.
Yeah, I would say for Gio, take everything I said about ATs and put that into one person, and that's Gio. You as a fan, someone might not feel that she's like the best singer in Twice or the best dancer in Twice, but she's the best performer in terms of on the stage. I think there are people that when you go and see them live, you go, okay, this person is not a singer. They're not just they're meant to be an idol first and foremost. They love this. They embody this. It is like their essence. and she's giving every percent that she can give on every given night. Like whether no matter what she feels like, she's going to make sure you got your money's worth. That is Gio, like to a T.
Yeah.
She never gave up, full energy the entire way. And I was like enraptured by that the first time I saw them. I was like, this girl is like, she must have downed 6 Red Bulls back there. It's crazy. Nuts.
Who had your favorite solo out of everybody?
In terms of the Twice members specifically,
Mm-hmm.
I have one. I didn't check out Nyan's album yet, unfortunately. I own the vinyl. I own the vinyl, and my Discord completely just destroys me for it all the time. That like, yeah, you've listened to Pop, but you haven't checked out her album yet, kind of thing. But one of my favorite songs that they actually put out that wasn't a solo, it was more the duet. It's that kind of. Do you remember that? It was Chang and it was Diane. I think it was that like 90s throwback.
Oh, the Switch
Like-
to Me from
Yeah, Switch to Me,
JYP.
Switch to Me. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, they did
Love that. I absolutely love that. So not like your conventional solo exactly,
Right.
but that's one that I love. And Gio
I was
also.
actually talking about the solos from the concert because everybody.
Oh,
does a
that's what
solo.
you mean. Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say because like Gio hasn't put out her solo yet.
Oh no, not yet. Not
Yeah,
yet. I'm
yeah.
ready, though.
But I'm waiting. But no, in terms of the in terms of the concert, Mina's is fatal. Like
Yeah.
that is. That's got a lot of things to say about that.
Mina's been doing a lot of twerking.
But that's the
yeah.
thing, Mina.
Yeah.
I was just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
whoa, huh?
Yeah, it was a little different now.
He turns into Sharon in the U.S. and you just got to watch out for her. She goes crazy. Goes
Wow.
crazy.
Wild West.
She's been doing a lot of twerking. Like I don't know how many shorts she had a twerk off with a fan in the crowd.
Wait, what?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Somebody do something, man.
Bang Bang
Yeah.
damn near fell out when Momo came out on the stripper pole.
It was a lot going on in that moment. My eyes was not like ready to see that, man. Calibrated to see that.
Unfortunately, the time I saw them just here in Seattle, both Chonghyun and Diane were sick. They both had COVID, so they weren't at the concert. Unfortunately, I'd seen them last year, but that part you could kind of sense was a little bit of a rain cloud over the concert, and also the venue didn't start letting people in until an hour late. So the concert started an hour late. It was
that was us last year.
it was a mess.
That was us,
Oh,
right?
you're
That did
right.
happen.
Mm.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
Okay, 1080p.
Huh? What?
You take it from here.
Oh,
we
my
got some
bad.
topics.
Sorry, I forgot. I'm on the job. All right. So, my apologies in advance because I suck at pronunciations. Okay. So, topic number 1. So, all 12 members of LOONA are officially free from from Blockberry Creative with members Kim Lip, Heejin, and
Yes.
Chetty.
Chetty, yeah.
Chetty. Okay, sorry. Jinsol and most recently Hustle.
Yes.
All right, go me. Signing with Modus.
Nice.
There you go.
Okay, sorry.
Just keep going.
I went
Not
over
not
these
quite,
questions.
but go ahead.
I went over these questions and yeah,
People
we're still
know.
here.
People know what you're talking about.
Okay,
Yes.
for Artemis, right? The Artemis strategy project. So Blockberry said they will be words. They will continue to sue the former members of LOONA. What are your thoughts of the situation, and what are your hopes for the Artemis project and the other members?
Okay. I guess I'll go first. First of all, obviously the label continuing to sue doesn't sound surprising. This is that annoying thing. I think Bang Bang would call it business.
Mm.
So obviously they feel like they invested a lot. They ain't get all their money yet. They're gonna sue for whatever they feel like they deserve. Not saying it's right, but that's what they're gonna do. So business is going business. I hate it. It's annoying.
Yeah.
I hope the girls don't stress over it too much, because that's the thing that tends to happen, especially when the concept of a big corporation suing you is at hand. That could be extremely depressing. I do hope that they can find peace in the fact that they are free and that they're not going to be sucked back into a contract with Blockberry Creative. As far as the girls go, first of all, I'm ecstatic that Hassol is joining them. That's going to be a really dope boost. when I got into Luna, her soul was on hiatus, so I didn't know how great she was until she came back, and I was just like, holy shit, her personality just added like 10 decibels to everything Luna's doing. So I hope everybody is able to join up on the same label. I don't know how likely that is. But with the core that they have, I expect some really dope music. And due to the fact that they're working with the people that kind of came up with the concepts for their original music, I expect it to be fire. I mean, and it's coming out soon, right? It's like a week or it's like sometime in July.
Like
we're gonna
two weeks out, basically.
Yeah. So I'm expecting some really dope stuff from all Luna members. I hope the members that want to continue to make music, especially the not so popular members like Go On and Eugene and like, you know, my bias Eugene and a couple of the other members. I hope and BB, I hope they're all able to do whatever they want to do, whether that's host shows, continue to put out music. I think they all had some really dope concepts with a lot of the solo records they put out when I went back and checked out all of their solo records. So I just hope they get to do what they want to do. So if everybody wants to link up and do something together, I hope that is what happens, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be good because they're in good hands right now.
Yeah, when it comes to this business, I can't imagine how it is mentally to deal with all this. So, I mean, my hope is just, you know, going forward, you know, it's unfortunate to hear all this talk about they're still going to be suing them and everything like that. And I know it's part of business, but at the end of the day, I hope that, you know, the members are in good spaces, good circles, got good people around them to deal with things like this, because I can't imagine, you know, I'm glad, you know, they're moving forward in a way, but it still kind of feels like something's holding them back.
Right.
So I would just hope that, you know, they just keep around people and, you know, shout out to the fans, you know, still supporting them and, you know, pushing for them and everything like that. But really, when they get like in a tight circle of friends, family, and even staff and management, I just hope they're all keeping them on a path to positivity and just greatness. No matter what happens, you know, I just hope, you know, they just keep them moving forward because, like I said, I couldn't imagine. This has been one hell of a experience and situation, just learning about it each and every day. So that's all I ask. I just hope they just keep the mental straight, man, because I can imagine what it is like dealing with that on a personal and professional level.
Yeah, same here, man. You know, it feels like a messy breakup. You know, I just wish there's some kind of closure to the situation, you know, so the artists can kind of be artists and kind of move on and do their thing. You know, the business side of it is really difficult. And, you know, I'm happy they're kind of at least getting somewhere. I hate that feels like it's kind of like building up, and I hate for that to take away from the creativity, and it also doesn't really help the culture itself. You know, just the bickering or the suing and things of that nature is, I wouldn't say it's the best look. So I'm kind of hoping just for like just some closure on the situation so they can go off and make some great hits.
Yeah, for me, what a messy situation. I see it less as even a messy breakup and more as an abusive relationship kind of thing with them, because getting into the nitty gritty, like their contract situation with Blockberry, and this is something that you always kind of look towards when it comes to young idols wanting to live their dream. They're ready to sign on any dotted line that is put in front of them sometimes to be given that opportunity, and they're very easy to be taken advantage of. And that's what these girls, what happened to them. So the whole situation was that in terms of profits, they were given a 70-30 split. And then they actually had to pay expenses, not just trainee expenses, like ongoing expenses split 50-50, meaning them working out of debt is incredibly difficult, incredibly difficult, which is why then some of the members restructured their contracts in 2021. So then when some won the injunction and got to break away from the contract, put in stasis, that is still like all just kind of they can seek other work. But even right now, like that contract is there, and Blockberry is going to still fight it ongoing. But it's why they were able to break off and join Mod House, those girls, whereas like Eve and Olivia and Go On, like they were all denied because of that restructure. They were the ones that did that. So what broke them free actually was that when they signed to, I think it was Universal Japan, their Japanese label, in transferring the original contract terms to the Japanese label, they were never given written consent. They had to sign it in some way. And because Blockberry never sought that for them, their consent, the court decided, okay, this is now void because of that. So thank God that happened.
Right.
Thank God they were that incompetent. And their incompetence knows no bounds in that this group is now able to promote as Odd Eye Circle. In the trailer, they're using old Odd Eye Circle songs. Like,
Oh, they were?
in my head,
Oh, wow.
yeah, in my head, I'm like, how is this legal? Apparently, Blockberry just didn't trademark anything. They didn't trademark the name LOONA, so they can use that if they want. All they've trademarked is Girl of the Month. That's all they really have under there. So I don't know what's going on with this company in terms of management, but clearly it was not very good.
It sounds like they didn't invest their money in protecting their IPs. That's what it sounds like.
Man.
What a mess. But as for the girls themselves, so we know that Hyunjin and Vivi have actually signed to a different label, like together. Hostel now joining Mod House, and the other girls are kind of up in the air. We're not sure yet, but of course, Mod House can only really suddenly put out so much money, and that's why I think we see this album being pretty quick. Not only do fans want it, but also they need to make some income. We have a tour already in Europe. I think they're trying to grow some capital there that they can maybe bring in some of the other girls that want to join. But people need to also just temper expectations in that when a 12-member group finishes up contracts in some way, the idea of them coming all together is sometimes just a really difficult one. You have 12 individuals, and I know we love to see like, well, their family, of course, sure, but dreams change and wants change in a person individually. Maybe they don't want the idol life anymore. Maybe they want to do something different. And I'm just so happy that now they have that choice. They can do whatever they want to do. If Chu wants to, run the Chu Can Do It channel and become the variety queen that she is, she can do that, and she excels at it. So I'm glad to see them just thriving in that way. But also, if you were to roll back the clocks just 7-8 months, you couldn't dream of this scenario. This scenario has gone as perfect as you could have possibly imagined. They're back with the old creative director, Jaden Jong, as previous to everything Butterfly, so Butterfly and back.
Oh, nice.
Yep, working with Monetary, the lore coming back kind of to the way it used to be, and not under Blockberry handling it. We're like, we'll throw in something from the past. It doesn't mean anything, but fans will be like, I remember that. So it's so exciting. It's so exciting and makes me so very happy. And that if things maybe don't go exactly according to plan of how I wanted them to, I need to just reassess and look back and say, you could never dream that it could have gone this good, at least. So take it for what it is.
No, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1080p, that's you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just letting it all sink in because I was like, that was way more information than I knew about LOONA because like I'm a casual individual. Just because it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And all right, so moving right along. So we got Jennie. Everyone is talking about Jennie. That's how you pronounce it, right? It's not Jennie.
Yes.
When I was saying it sounded weird. I don't know, whatever. So she's on the HBO series The Idol, and some people are praising her for the role while others are criticizing her for taking it in general. So let's start with you first, Bang Bang.
Oh, sorry with me.
I don't know, just because I feel like putting somebody on the spot today. So what are your thoughts on the show, if you've seen it, and your thoughts on Jennie taking the role?
Well, from the clips that I've seen, I think she's doing an amazing job. Probably one of the shows that I will probably consume on a daily basis. I'm joking.
I'm saying, listen to this professional calculated
Yeah, I'm about to say, I'm like,
response.
hold on. Yeah, let me see the hostage letter.
He's in the hostage letter.
Look, I got to be honest with this one. The show by The Weeknd. This is a weekend show, so I could not even expect it to be good. No offense to The Weeknd. I just know he has a different style. I think for what Jennie is,
I like the way he curved it. He has a good, different style. Okay,
trust me. If I was on a weekend set, I don't know what he'll have me doing. So I think what Jennie's doing, what she has, I'm not mad. It's definitely a different look, a little jarring at times, but you know, as an artist, you want to challenge yourself, and the weekend challenge is definitely a challenge. I think she'll probably be a better from it, and maybe you'll say no next time. So, but shout out.
Sorry. You said say no next time.
You want to go next, Ace?
Usually, when it comes to any type of media or entertainment, I give, sometimes just the 3-episode rule, you usually give something some time to burn into you, because it got to set the tone. With formats of shows like this, usually it's maybe 1 episode. But in terms of this one, I didn't even give it a try.
Yeah,
I literally only seen clips, and I know I won't be the person to judge because I haven't seen the full medium of it, and I can't judge it. But from what I have seen, there is nothing for me to be interested in just because of just my personal taste.
Watch your words, man.
Good stuff.
But from what I have seen, I'm just like, I don't even know what this is for.
I see.
And I don't know what she was pitched. Like, it's going to be just an amazing show.
Yeah.
It's going to be groundbreaking. It's on HBO. I don't know what was sold.
But hey, most HBO shows are fire though. Let's not front.
Yeah. So I get it. And like I said, I don't want to judge how she did in it because I don't know. I only seen the few clips that you have shown me. I've seen the whole, what you said was a commercial fight scene and everything like that or whatever. And for the most part, even though I didn't know what was going on, it looked interesting, but it was just the writing and the format of it was just like out of nowhere. But I thought she did great in what she was given for that scene that you showed me. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, even though I know the reception of the show has been mostly negative, any type of artist or actor can always find the positives and negatives out of something. And going forward with her career, hopefully this will be an experience. Like, I know what to choose next time.
Yes,
I know what I want to. And I mean, everything is a learning experience. Now, I know that's a calculated response, but I really think that's really what it is.
Diplomatic. Very diplomatic.
Very diplomatic, And but really you gotta take it and you just gotta roll with the punches. Now for the weekend, I don't know what he thought he was doing because some of those scenes that I see here, I'm just like, no man, go back to music.
Yeah.
Just go back to music.
Where's the weekday at?
But it really I think, for the most part what I've seen, she did great. Weekend was really the one that was just horrible to watch. It was just really, really bad. But yeah, like I said, I don't think I'll give the show a chance just because it didn't look like anything that I want to consume. So,
Prince, what do you think?
Well, I'm glad that you were able to be somewhat of the bad guy first. I think that really makes it easier for me. But I really don't have tons of negative things to say either, though. Honestly, it's a show that I have not seen. So right from the get, I can't say so much about it, but also I'm just completely not interested in it. But I could see why this was interesting for her, because if you just lay it all out on paper, it sounds pretty great. So the weekend being attached to it, it's a huge name. So at least you got that. You've got a lot of clout attached to this project that you'll have eyes on it. So I can understand being interested in that fact. The showrunner, I believe, is the same showrunner as Euphoria, which is a very popular show. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah. Okay. So that is a show I also haven't seen, but I know that people really enjoy it and it's very popular. And also on HBO, which has its own cachet. HBO is a prestigious channel. Well, I say channel nowadays, but it's not really a channel anymore.
I feel you. Yeah.
Man, age showing a little bit, I guess. But yeah, it's a very prestigious outlet. Entity. So I could totally see her wanting to do that. And idols, the thing is here is that artists always want to spread themselves out and expand a little bit. And it's always actors or actresses thinking they can be singers and singers thinking they can be actors or actresses. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I think at least for idols, I could see no better crossover than for an idol, because you are kind of trained at the inception to be somewhat of an actor at the same time.
Absolutely.
So they work really in tandem. And I would see her just seeing everything there that's on the page and saying, hey, this looks like a good opportunity. I have also heard that the show is quite bad. I've heard that it's not very good, but I've also heard that, I mean, Jennie also has maybe like 4 lines in this. Like I hear she's not really she's got like a quick, not a big role. And I would be watching it for her.
Yeah.
So if she's that little in this show, I'm kind of not interested personally, but I could see why she took the chance. I just think that with her cachet and how big BLACKPINK is, she could have gotten maybe a little bit more. I don't know if I sometimes overstep the popularity, but really BLACKPINK is a huge international group. I think they are truly popular. They're playing Coachella and everything multiple times. Like she could have gotten more, much more, if she wanted to try and flex some acting skills in some way. So while I don't say like it was a bad choice for her, because everyone's got to make their first, foray into a different medium, maybe it didn't turn out great, but like you said, it's a learning experience, and maybe her second one, if she continues to pursue this, because this could have also taught her that she doesn't want to, you never know, maybe she'll make better decisions going forward, or even her agency, making better decisions going forward.
Yeah, as far as how I feel about it, first of all, like as far as me wanting to watch the show, as soon as I heard it was a weekend produced show, I was like, yeah, I'm not watching that. And like, no disrespect to the Weeknd, I think he has a classic album with the Madness and Darkness, whatever the joint was called. It had that I Can't Feel My Face and the Hills and the You Earned It. That album is crazy. Yeah. But he's gotten off the drugs, from my understanding, and his music has kind of evolved and changed. And he decided he wanted to take a foray into a television series. And I'm not going to knock him for doing that, because everybody wants to elevate at some point in their career. They want to do something new, do something different. I haven't seen the show. I've read a lot of the reviews. I've watched clips of the show. His acting is definitely pretty cringe. I assume that that's what it was going to be. Some of Jennie's lines are cringe. I'll say that. I feel like the clips, because I've watched online, like YouTube basically just has the clips from Jennie on the show put online, where you can just watch her parts, and a lot of people are just watching the show for her. Looks like Johnny Depp's daughter is killing. Lillian Depp, I think that's how you say her name. She's been killing it. Jennie's parts are fairly sporadic and small. A lot of people like the fact that she had like a heel turn on the last episode, and when people are saying that, that's not the last episode, but she had a heel turn where you kind of find out that like she kind of is like working to backstab Lillian Depp's character and stuff like that. The show just doesn't seem like anything that interests me. You know what I mean? Do I think Jennie could have picked a better role? I think she could have. At the same time, when somebody comes up to you and says, hey, we have an HBO show, I felt like your first inkling is to say yes, because almost everything HBO puts out is usually like 7, 8, 9 plus on IMDb, and it's hard to get a TV show that's like in the 8 and 9s, and I think HBO has the most like 8 and 9 scored shows. Lovecraft Country, The Wire, The Sopranos,
Succession is so good.
Like they have so many. They are known for having legendary television series. So why wouldn't she join in and want to be a part of that? Of
course.
I figure, and not only that, she said the Weeknd invited her specifically. Like he went to talk to her and said, "I want you on the show." So she probably felt like, yo, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is a big deal for me. She said everybody else in BLACKPINK was really happy for her. They've been calling her after every episode, telling her how well she's doing. So she's liking the show. She's been doing press for the show. She's impressed with the way the show came out. And at the end of the day, I think that's all that matters. She's happy about it. And apparently, I mean, we don't know if it's true yet, because Marvel's denied it. Her management has denied it. But apparently it might have ended up getting her a role in the next Marvel show, like and one of Marvel's new upcoming shows. So, this might have been the thing that kicked that off. You know what I mean?
Good point.
So Are some of the things that I've seen her do on the show kind of cringy? Yeah. At the same time, I always say, man, she's a grown ass woman. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, y'all acting like the idols ain't, like I said, man, I understand. It's a different culture. They out here getting it in, all right? Whether you want to believe it or not. And some of the lines she's
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, doing
you,
what
tell,
grown-ups do.
you saw BM at these shows.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Dude, I mean, the problem is like when I see stuff like that, I'm like, and people are very sensitive to it. I'm like, dude, if I had a body like BM or Sonovan, you better believe I'm using it. You better believe I'm not just wasting 7 years of my life not using that.
Right.
So it's happening. It's happening.
Right.
It's definitely happening out here in these dorms, sneaking from dorm.
Whoa.
I know you might not like the picture I'm painting, but it's happening. Trust and believe.
Some of them like
However-
it too much.
Right. Exactly. But Jennie's a grown woman. She could do what she wants to do.
Yes.
And she wants to do a role that has her saying things that as an idol you don't think she should be saying, because that's some of the comments I saw. She's an idol. She shouldn't be reciting lines like this. If she is acting. This is not her true character.
Right.
This is not who she really is
Right.
that we know about. You know what I mean? So I think people should remember that she's just acting. It's an acting role. You don't have to watch the show.
That's something I'm happy you brought up because yeah, especially like her dancing scenes and things like that. It's such a two-faced thing sometimes. I know sometimes we can be a little terminally online and see too much of Twitter, especially Twitter.
Oh yeah.
But these K-pop fans that will champion female empowerment will straight up just slut shame her for literally acting in a TV show. Like
Right.
Right.
you can't have it both ways. I don't get it.
Right. 100% agree with you.
Super facts. All right, so just to bounce off of that though, so we're gonna have 5 different genres, right? We're gonna name.
That's the fun topic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't announce that. Fun time. So we're gonna name one male and one female idol that you would believe that could do justice for these types of roles. Okay. So let's start with Ace, romantic comedy.
Oh, so you're saying? Oh, I read that question.
Oh,
wrong.
did I read it, bro?
Oh damn.
I thought it was just one male, and one
Yeah.
one female.
Oh no, I went all in. I went in depth on this one.
Oh,
Okay.
Play. That's what he did.
I mean, I ain't
All
mean
right.
for you to have to write out the movie, but I'm just saying, like, if there
No,
was a romantic
you
comedy.
said one for each genre. I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
one
one-
for all.
Yeah, I do.
Oh no, no, no. I meant one for each genre.
I'll go
so-
on the spot. I'll go on the spot.
Oh,
So
I'm doing mine on the spot like I always do.
romantic,
Romantic comedy.
romantic comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I could see, yeah, Yuyeon from Dreamcatcher
Okay.
doing a romantic comedy. I can definitely see her.
Who will be
'Cause-
her co-star?
Oh, now that's tough. Co-star
Male idol.
has to be somebody who's serious yet funny. Damn, I gotta think about this one. Hold on. I got a couple people in my head right now. I guess I will go ahead and throw out Jungho
Okay.
because I feel like he can give you that serious gaze, but then have you laugh in the next scene.
While he crushes some apples.
Yes.
I was gonna say that from AT's actually Woo Young would be a pretty good fit there in terms of
Ooh, yeah,
he's a little cocky. Maybe he's not a relationship type guy, but this time there's the girl that catches his eyes and
Yeah,
changes his ways. The typical rom-com
you
format.
Okay, who next?
Oh, we're not doing everybody. What?
Yeah, no, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, since you were assigning people.
Yeah, you were. Yeah.
My bad. I forgot. Okay, let's go to Prince.
All right. So I kind of have. So I didn't choose these necessarily as a pair in the rom-com, but my first choice is Unso of WJSN, and then her paired with literally anyone else in WJSN because I think that just suits. I think that really suits the vibe there. And then for my male choice, I actually am very confident about this one, and it's Minhyuk in B2B. I think would be a perfect rom-com guy. He's
good.
funny. He's got the visual. He's got like the dashing look, heartthrob. Like he is perfect for that kind of role because he hits all the things that is like the, what do you call it, the heartthrob kind of vibe. So those are my choices there.
Nice.
All right, Bang Bang, what you got?
Oh, well, wasn't prepared for this. But we're saying romantic comedy.
Correct.
Yeah, romantic comedy.
So I want to say this on the spot. I would say Diane from Twice.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I like it.
I like that a lot, actually. Damn, I'm mad I didn't say that.
and Wonho.
Captain Wonho. Okay.
Wonho counts as like two people, basically. So they're all like...
I can see Diane's expressions.
The expressions is what I'm seeing. Because Wonho just be like, and Diane, oh my God, that's actually really good.
That's
I'm
hilarious.
jealous. That was good.
That's hilarious to me.
All right, Diddy.
I would want to watch that.
For me, I'd actually go Danielle from New Jeans. I think her smiley attitude would do really well on a romantic comedy. She could play kind of like a ditzy character. I think she could pull that off pretty well. Not saying she's ditzy.
I got you.
But I just feel like she can kill that type of role. And for her counterpart, I'd pick Hyun Kai from TXT. I think he can be the like Prince Charming type character, but he can also be goofy when he needs to be. So I think Hyun Kai and Danielle from New Jeans, that would be my combo right there for a romantic comedy.
I think that's a good fit, especially if you take it in the lane of like the high school rom-com of like
Right.
What's that one?
I'm thinking like 10 Things I Hate About You.
That
and
like To All the Boys I Loved Before or whatever it's called, things like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could see that working.
Oh, that's me again. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So the next genre is buddy cops. Let's start with who gonna go first?
I can go.
Okay.
I could go. My choice here, I want something that is people that have a banter that almost feel like siblings in some ways, but aren't siblings. That kind of vibe is great for a buddy cop. And here is the only moment where I broke my rule in that I didn't choose male and female, only went female.
Okay.
And I chose Cheon and Yena. And those two are at each other's throats all the time. And the next moment they'll be hugging each other or something. And I think that kind of relationship to where it's somewhat abrasive and fighting out of love is kind of just embodies that concept of a buddy cop movie to me. So I think they would be a great fit, especially because Yena is maybe a bit more of the hard-edged one in some way, but also seems quite competent. And Chaewon is a hot mess and super aloof that she can be like the disastrous element that gets them into trouble. And Yena is the one that pulls them out. I think that's like a great 1-2 punch there.
I like it.
Okay. Oh,
Diddy,
Go ahead.
Okay, so for my buddy cop, man, you got to have one person that's just flat out goofy, and you got to have one person that is flat out dead serious, and you don't even know when they're joking. So I'm going to pick Cher Young from ITZY because when she's being mean and dead serious, you can't tell. You know what I mean? She is goofy at times, but for the most part, she's a serious member of the group to me. So yeah, Cher Young from ITZY, and for her counterpart, I have to pick the goofy Felix. I feel like they would be really funny together because I feel like he'd be joking around and Cher Young would give him deadpan faces over and over again, like she ain't think anything he said was funny. So I'm getting Rush Hour vibes from them too.
I like that.
All right, Ace.
I ain't ready yet.
All right.
I got one more to pick.
All right, Bang Bang.
On the spot, because we didn't read this question properly. So on the spot.
I mean, you know, you could send a message and be like, "What did you mean by?"
Clarification, please.
Hey,
No, I chose one for each like genre, and that's what I just did.
I just like that.
Yeah.
But if I have to choose, I would say Hawassa, my man Loco.
Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, is this a buddy love cop movie?
Hey, it's cops.
You know what? I can see that because
cops.
Loco would be in love.
Come on, man.
And wants to
With
be about the
Wassa.
business.
Yeah.
You see that?
He can be secretly in love the whole time. And then she
Outside their duets, is there something I don't know about Loco and Hwasa going on?
No.
We've been making jokes that they're secretly, you know, have a thing.
No. Just like the dual dynamic of those two.
I was along the same lane of you. I had Moonbyul, but I was trying to pick the perfect like compliment for a male counterpart. And I think I'm gonna go with Minho from Shiny because I feel like Minho can be the serious person that's trying to be serious, but will break because of Moonbyul's goofiness.
I can see that.
So like they can support each other. Like she'll be telling him to lighten up because you know she's trying to be fun about it.
I like that.
And he's always trying to be the serious. I'm to the point. I'm always on the job. So I think I would like that dynamic from a buddy cop type of drama.
Okay, so next up we have crime drama.
So when it's a crime drama,
Mm-hmm.
is this like Law and Order, or what type
Bro,
of?
you know
It's
how we
tough.
do, man. Whatever you want it to be.
I kind of put it as like Law and Order, or like a mystery thriller crime movie, like maybe something like Silence of the Lambs, but that's a bit more horror thriller. I don't know.
Okay.
Go ahead and go first then.
Yeah, so my choice is the male counterpart I kind of base purely on look. So I'm looking for something that they look basically. You look like a cop. Is kind of somewhat what I went with the role, and I chose Yanan of Pentagon. He's tall. I mean, yeah, he's got a soft face, but he seems like he's got that like young rookie on the force kind of vibe about him. So almost purely on visual, I went with Yanan, and then for the female counterpart, I went with Sunmi, and I think Sunmi would be great in a role like that. If you like look at her. Like her Tail music video, where it's very kind of noir inspired in some ways, with the black and white and everything. I think she would suit that kind of double indemnity, like old style, like mystery crime drama type of vibe. And also, seeing her in a suit would be pretty cool. So yeah, I chose her.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Ace.
I think I got it. So I'm just trying to, in my head, just choose one because I got. Okay, so if I got the female lockdown, that would be IU.
Nice.
And I just feel like she would add to that. She's very convincing. And, when it comes to just portraying that role, I can see her being like the lead detective or something when it comes to that. And then for the male lead on this show, I'm just trying to make sure I'm going through everybody that I think. Damn, this is tough.
Has IU played a role like that? She might have already. She might have done that.
She might have already. I want to say. Man, this is hard because it's like a roulette going in my head right now, and I'm just trying to focus on one. You're going to have to come back to me. I want to make sure I get this right because I need the perfect pair with IU. In one moment.
Okay, well, I guess I go. I guess I'm the only one that didn't go. For my crime drama, for the male, I know this sounds out of left field, but I want to put Psy as
that'll be good.
my veteran lead detective. He's got years on the force. He's goofy. He's kind of fed up. You know what I mean? He doesn't necessarily like his job anymore.
Yeah.
And he has to get a young spunky rookie on task. And for that young spunky, yeah, spunky. For that young spunky rookie, I'm actually gonna pick the youngest member of MX, and I'm gonna pick Kyujin. I feel like she can really give you that seriousness, like when you have to have that serious scene, she can nail it. But she also can be the goofy person that's learning on the job really quickly, and she's actually kind of teaching the old dog new tricks, because that's the vibe I get from her personality all the time. Like she's like beyond her years in what she knows and what she can do.
Like that.
All right.
You got it?
I think I'm good. And I always mess up his name. Choi Siwon from Super Junior.
Okay.
Because I feel like that pairing will be the pairing you would want to go to when it comes to solving any type of crime.
Dang.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah.
That's dope.
This is tough.
It's super tough.
On the spot,
Something-
it's difficult.
I'm thinking about all this. I'm just picturing the show in my head right now.
Yeah, hey, you're the producer.
Yep. All right. So next up we have action.
This one's easy for me.
Yeah, you can go first.
So male lead, I got Jackson Wang.
Jackson.
I mean, that's easy for me. I can see Jackson Wang just killing that. And I got a lot of options for my female lead, but I think off the top, I think I might want to go with, and this is just a personal favorite for me, Xion from Dreamcatcher.
Nice.
Because she has such a fierce attitude about her
Yeah.
that I think she would kill an action role. So yeah.
I'm surprised we haven't had any crossover yet. That's crazy to me.
Right?
Well, actually, he took my guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Jackson Wang as well,
Okay.
but I can easily audible out of that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my man Kang.
Dang, that was mine. Yo.
Just because if I had to pick an audible from Jackson Wang, it would be Kang.
Yeah.
My man Kang. And he's you know, the SOS joint, he's kind of getting into his action movie bag, and I think he would do a good job with that. And for his counterpart, man, I can do an audible with that one too, but I have two people I'd like to mention. I think because I wanted to go Jackson Wang and Hyolyn. I think that would be really dope. But if I'm gonna go Kang Daniel, I think I want to go Ryujin from ITZY.
Okay.
Because that performance we saw at the Mama Awards, when she had that whole action sequence where she taking down the people with the guns,
that was
and she
cool.
did a Hurricane Rada and stuff like that, that always stuck with me. And I was just like, yo, she could be an action star, yo.
Yeah.
So, you know, there you go for me.
I really like the Hyolyn pick because you kind of get the kind of like an Angelina Jolie vibe. Like I get the like Mr. and Mrs. Smith kind of thing with Kang Daniel and her. I think that's pretty cool.
Like that.
You can go, Prince.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll go. My picks. First pick for male role is San of ATEEZ. I love his vibe. First of all, he's got the action body. But also I think he has that great kind of like the Rock action quality to where he's a soft boy. He's a sensitive boy, but he's fit. He's brolic. So he's got the brawn, he's got the muscle. So if you take like some of the Rock's more like stronger meatheadier like action roles, but then you look at the Rock in something like Pain and Gain, if you've seen that, to where he's totally a different vibe. And I love that kind of juxtaposition between those two roles. So I think he would be a perfect fit for that. And for action, this one was like a shoo-in for me. It was the first person I thought of, and I was like, yes, like got it right away. Is Alexa, and I think Alexa would be so great for this.
You know what? Yeah,
that's a great pick.
That took
So
stuff.
with all like her sci-fi. Oh, you took her too?
Yeah.
Yeah, with her like all her sci-fi videos that she's done, like how much she likes to get, you know, her hands dirty in the music videos. She was on zip lines, shooting guns, kicking dudes, and then also that split between her and San where she's like 5'1", and then you have her next to San. I think is a really cool little dynamic between the two.
So
Maybe.
Oh yeah, y'all took mine. So yeah. I had to
Sorry
go
about
last.
that.
I had to go last.
So who was your pair?
So it was Kang Daniel, shout out, and Alexis. I think those two, in my opinion, will make a cool pair. I thought that would be really dope to see. But yeah, that's all I was going with.
Dope. All right. So the last one is horror.
Like this is the easiest one for me, for real.
Are we going all the same female?
I'm going Irene.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Irene from Red
Victorian horror, like good fit.
When she has that deadpan face, she looks fairly scary.
Yes.
My for my horror movie, by the way, I'm going for like a Scream where both people are the villains that I'm mentioning. So Irene's a villain in this
That's
movie,
dope.
and for the other villain, I'm going with somebody you announced earlier, Jung Ho, because his death stare is so crazy.
Yes,
So
that's more appropriate.
You get both of their death stares in the same movie.
Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
We talking about like Amityville horror types of evil looks that they can throw at the camera, and I would like to see that. I don't think Irene is evil, by the way.
No.
I love Irene, but man, that look she gives sometimes, where it just is like, yo, I'm scared.
Yeah, for Jung Ho, kind of that like the last thing you see before the knife goes into your gut is his little like screaming face that he does. Can totally picture that.
I'm thinking for him, I'm thinking more like Jekyll and Hyde too, because like he can really act normal, and then when the person turns their back, he can immediately change his face back to that face where he's just looking at you like he's a lunatic. So he's like American Psycho level.
I like that. Okay.
So I already have my female.
I got mine too.
I'm just trying to choose my male counterpart.
I got mine.
I already know who yours is because it's probably the same as mine. But I got to pick a female though. I mean, a male part for this.
I could go first because I've got my pair. So for male, I've got Taemin. And I think Taemin has so many dark concepts.
Space.
That's dope.
Are you offended?
I feel like
No.
he's okay.
No, I like it. I like it.
It works.
I went with Taemin because he's got so many dark concepts. He plays a lot with heaven and hell and religion in a lot of his music videos. And I think that works perfectly in tandem with the horror concept. I love concepts that deal with demons. And I think that he would be a great fit for that. And my female counterpart is interesting in that I came to it like after the fact. I switched this multiple times. But I went with Hyuna. And I think Hyuna has such a distinct, aloof, strange, peculiar look. I think she would thrive in something like that. Think of like a horror in the vein of like a Tim Burton kind of thing, to where it's bizarre.
She's Wednesday or something like.
Yeah, just really strange. And I think that she would love to do something like that also. So I think that she would fit really well in a movie like that.
So I got my male counterpart. And it's going to be an odd balance, but I think it could work. I think it might be in the same range as Dame, where they're both the villains. So I would have BB.
Shout out.
Because I feel like she'll be like the convincing, mesmerizing type of ringleader.
I mean, when you're talking about somebody that don't know how to smile, I mean, it's easy to see them as a villain.
But then for the male part, I would go to Felix. Stray Kids.
Okay, that's different.
And that's because of his voice. The voice is enough to make you like, oh, he looks sweet and innocent.
That's solid.
But then the voice will just be like, oh my God. So yeah, I think that can be something unique. I like that.
That's dope. I know for me, I would say personally, BB, of course. That's not going to be a shocker. And DPR Ian.
Okay. Oh yes.
He's like super dark, right?
Oh man.
Shout out.
That is
super dark,
actually a great. That's a great pairing right there.
That'll be interesting, man.
And that would be a hell of a visual horror film too.
Right.
Did you do any of them 1080p?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Not even one.
It's tough. This might be the toughest one we ain't had.
Yeah, it's tough.
But that was great though.
Wow, that's fun.
One of those things where I never know whether to go on like their vibe, their visual, what I know they like. Because the second I saw horror, I'm like, all right. I'm initially thinking about the Dreamcatcher girls. I'm like, even though they have those concepts, I'm like, I don't know if they'd want to be in that. And then also, I just want to point out it's a shame that I didn't put Sua in any of these, especially like Buddy Cop. Sua.
Oh man, you're right.
Sua needs to be there.
She would kill a Buddy Cop easily.
You're so right. You're so right.
I think Guyon would have fun being a bad guy. I think she really would. Cause she's perceived as so clean and nice.
She'll be the bad person that like smiles and laughs, like like, you know, I can see her being like that.
You take any Magne, the evil Magne vibe, Yeri would love to do that. Oh my god. So yeah, I could see them being a great pick.
Oh man. Crazy, man.
All right. So next up, we have a couple of questions. All right. So Sugar Flakes wants to know, is there something from older generations that you would want back or no?
I go first. Based on the last couple Throwback Thursdays we
There we
checked
go.
out, I don't want anything to come back.
Easy call.
I want everything to keep moving forward.
That's easy.
I actually had a different answer last week, but man, that's all I got.
Hey,
You want nothing to come back?
nothing.
If from first gen, no.
Oh, you
Unless-
went back. You went back.
Yeah, I'm talking first gen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
first gen. I think we should keep moving forward.
yeah.
You had to be there, Dane.
I had to
guess.
be there.
You had to be there. That being said, I'm not reaching for anything to come back.
Did you feel the same before
Hey.
last Sunday?
Hey, there's roots to
There we go.
everything,
There we
okay?
go.
And there's always a beginning, okay? And there's already something in the future. I'm
Nice.
more in the future. I want to stay here. But I respect the past.
I definitely
Absolutely.
respect how we got here.
I respect the past. So,
However,
Yeah.
but I mean, for me, they still have, you know, the group element going on. They still have all the personality. We still have concepts. So in a way, we're still borrowing from the past. It's just elevated.
Okay.
if you ask me, to bring some stuff from second gen, I'd say yeah. But
Yeah.
first gen, no.
It's no for me, dog. I'm not going to even hesitate. It's just like me going back to play my first PlayStation. Not happening. I appreciate it. Had a moment, but I'm not going back. You know what I'm saying? Give me
People
that
be asking
PS6.
for people be asking
He ain't going back to 20 frames per second.
Nope.
people be begging for PlayStation to have backwards compatible. Why? I don't want to play PlayStation 1 games unless you're talking about Final Fantasy 7. That's it.
And I'm
I don't
done.
want to play no PlayStation 2 games. I don't want to play no PlayStation 3 games.
Yeah.
I barely want to play PlayStation 4 games.
Barely.
I bought a 5 for a reason.
Mm.
I want to play PS5 games.
Yeah, that was the case.
Don't give me no old games.
Exactly.
I say this though, you need to not look at it as that. Look at it as, yeah, you don't want to go back and play PS1 games, but you want to play that Metal Gear Solid remake. That's what it would be. It would be it would be the modern version of the first gen,
Right.
second gen kind of
Right.
style.
Yeah.
You spin it like that, then it sounds much better.
Yes.
100%.
Respect.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I would
Yeah,
say
what do you think, Prince?
I would say for me, I didn't really take it initially as first gen. I'm immediately thinking second gen stuff, and there's a lot of stuff. But two primarily that I would bring back. First of all, is the weirdness, the oddity, the kind of just sometimes things that don't mix. So if I bring up a modern example of where I think modern K-pop fans, like ones that only know like super recent and haven't gone back, look at like in Hypen's song "Bite Me," the part where they go, "Oh my God," people don't like that. That is so second
Wait, they
gen.
don't like that?
There are people that actively don't like that, and I'm like, that is so yeah,
Strong
that's
part.
so second gen, and I love it so much. And then apart from that, like the oddity, the weirdness that a lot of second gen had, the melodrama, I would say long ass music videos with big narratives, those BAP videos that are 11 minutes long and have huge stories to them.
Okay, I got you on that one because
Yeah,
I
I like
love
that.
some of those. Yeah, they be really theatric and entertaining, and it's
Mhm.
like, ooh, you want to know what's next?
So you want to see your idol shoot somebody? Like they were shooting someone in every one of those videos.
You know what? To bury myself a even deeper hole, I what I would like to see come back is some of the sexualized stuff in K-pop, because all of that stuff has been completely erased.
Hey, absolutely.
I want to see a little twerking on the runway. Like
Nope.
I'm talking about like Gain. I'm talking about old Sistar concepts. I'm
Nope.
talking about some of like Hello Venus. I'm talking about some of that old smooth stuff that won't even be allowed in K-pop music videos today. I'm not saying I want it back in abundance. I'm saying we should welcome it back in moderation. We need a healthy diet.
Everything in balance, you know?
Jesus Christ.
They're gonna hate me for that.
It's okay though.
I agree. I mean, I agree. I think it's because the thing is that I think people want it, and maybe it's the
Wanna admit
mystery.
that they want it.
Yeah, it's the mystery factor, because if you read Twitter, boy, does it seem like people are fiending for it. But if you give it to them, it's too much. I don't know what to say. But if you want to, I mean, okay. One of the big music videos for me that was in that kind of casual spot was AOA's miniskirt. That kind of concept. Do you remember that video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you see that these days?
No.
Probably not. Probably not. So I think in balance, you have a little bit of that. You make sure all these people are adults and want to do it, and there's no problem with that.
There you go. That's what you got to say. Yeah.
That's also, hold on, but I understand then your trepidation there, because people are only getting younger in K-pop, it feels.
Right.
And that's a little odd. But if you have someone who's, in their early to mid 20s, what the hell? Who cares?
Like if Twice did a Bring It Back video, do you want them just sitting at desks looking at flowers?
No.
Okay. I'll just say.
I can't.
I wouldn't mind it.
No. You don't do a song like Bring It Back and you just looking at the stars.
Amen.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
Okay, moving on.
All right. So Stephen K wants to know how you guys prioritize groups as a multi-stan, or if it's just a pile of good stuff that you pull from.
Listen, I love this question because I believe in being a multi-stan. There's a lot of people on a lot of users on our channel that that say, oh, we're just once, or we're just this, or just this. Look, I love a lot of groups, okay?
Yeah.
And I pride in taking a variety of artists and groups because you always get something unique and different.
Yeah.
So with me, it's not a problem. I know how to balance it because that's just how I listen to music in a regular anyway. I'm so quick to listen to this genre to this genre to this. I mean, hell, my radio playlist goes from hip hop to rock to K-pop to anime music to whatever.
Yeah.
And I can just keep on going. That's just me. So it's not a problem for me.
Yeah. Same here, man. I got a doctor's in ear science. You know what I'm saying? So what I understand is that you gotta listen to everything. You know what I mean? To only listen to one type of thing, man, you kind of hurting yourself. You kind of hurting yourself. So I say, man, listen to everything and appreciate everybody because they're all pushing the culture forward. Shout out.
Yeah, I know it's pretty hard to try to get everything in, but I mean, at least for us, I feel like it's important to try to get in as much as we possibly can. I mean, we still don't get everything, but we try to get we try to get everything we can. Obviously, some of it, like when we do the smaller groups, arguably we're taking a risk because it really hurts our channel. I don't think people understand how YouTube channels work. But if people don't check out the video, the next video doesn't get recommended as much because the last video didn't get traction. So anytime we check out a group like, or check out like a video like Jennie, or we check out, and it's a really dope song and dripping and stuff like that. If people don't watch it, we're actually hurting our next video. So when we put out like 4 or 5 videos back to back where people don't check it out, it hurts the channel. And we still continue to do it. We don't really complain about it or anything like that. So I feel like it's important, at least for us to do. But we don't get a chance to get everything. And for whatever we don't get, we try to make up for it and try to get it on Patreon if we can.
Yeah, and flip back to that because I did miss that part of the question. I think it's good that we, even though it hurts in some ways, it's still good to like just do that because then we get some users be like, oh, I never heard of this song. This is actually pretty cool. And that's like the good part about it is that we can at least expose some people to something that they may not have been on their radar. So, I mean, in a way, that's kind of the positive thing about it, even though that it may not get tens of thousands of views or whatever like that, or if it's not popular, when we get those comments to say, hey, I never heard of this group and I'm glad that y'all reacted to them because I would have never checked this out.
Right.
And I think that's another cool part of being a reactor is the fact that no matter what it is, just because somebody like enjoys our channel and enjoys us, they'll take, let me see what this video is about. I like these guys, so let me see if they like it. So yeah, I think that's really cool too. And I think that's important in being a multi-stan is the fact that, you like these groups off, but you're trying to give the smaller lesser known groups a time to shine as well, because you never know what you might find, and it's sometimes a joy to find too when we check out something like, man, this only got so many views, y'all. Oh, come on! So I think that's really important.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to the person that asked this question, Stephen K, one of my longest patrons and supporters, and one of my most active. He handles all my emojis in my Discord and everything. Gifts of me dancing with a cheeseburger when I'm drunk. all different types of stuff. So shout out and thank you for the question. I think the reactor side is very interesting of this, and also the K-pop fan side of this. I could never understand, and I still find it difficult to just comprehend how people only listen to one group or stand one group. I simply can't get it. And the way that interactions work between K-pop groups, of the infighting of just fandoms and all of that. And I liken it to like metal or rock, or where I've come from. If someone covered another group or said so-and-so sounds kind of like this band, no one ever got offended. No one was like, well, like Megadeth wouldn't think so. And like, no one gets upset about that. They're like, oh, chill, cool. Like, you were inspired by that. That's awesome. So I always find it so weird that people, create their home base on one group and don't extend further out. As for the reactor side, that's actually something I'm really interested in with you guys and how you maintain that. But it is the number one, I think, most difficult thing about reacting. I'm one person. I'm just one dude doing this whole thing, and there's a lot of K-pop out there. There's more than I could ever listen to if I did this from sunrise to sundown. You would still never get to it all. And I personally really like to champion the little groups. I think I said that earlier on. It's just what I'm attracted to. Someone that's going to be getting less press. Early on, the first year and a half or so that I did this channel, I really did a full foray into K bands. So a lot of the bigger, more K-pop like ones like OneWe, but we also checked out different names that your average K-pop fan would have never heard of that I found out loving. And those people who enjoy those smaller groups, I find to be the absolute most passionate. And that's what I find to be interesting. If you go and look on, say, maybe like a Twice video or a big group that'll get a good amount of views, that might have the most views. It has the least comments, because those people watch and they don't comment. Whereas the small artist, I almost you have a ton of comments with a small amount of views, because they're passionate and they want to talk about someone that isn't necessarily given the spotlight. And I find that really endearing. And the same went with K bands, where people were so passionate that I had people from Korea sending me in 50-minute clips of the show Superband, which is a survival band show from Korea, and subtitling it just for me to react to it for them. And I'm like, that's crazy that you're that you would do that. Crazy in a good way, in that I love to see you being so passionate. And I think that's really, really enduring. And in terms of the reactor side, to where it's difficult, is it's killer. Yeah, it really hurts your channel. And I find that the number one best thing is consistency, and I really struggle with that. And I've absolutely hit the wall of walls in terms of growth. And largely it's because maybe if I just every week put out the same group, a big group, I haven't done my full deep dive into EXO, haven't into BTS even. I started with a lot of their earlier stuff and their later stuff, but there's that whole middle ground. Haven't done any of that. And I know that would bring in tons of numbers, but I sometimes feel bad because there's so many groups that say Big Bang I reacted to recently, 2 weeks ago, some live stages of theirs. People loved it. It did pretty well in terms of views. And even though I know Big Bang and know of them, I know some of their music, it was my first video solely on them on the channel. And it brought a lot of traffic, and people were like, subscribe, can't wait for the... I'm like, there's so much to get to. I don't know when I'm going to be able to again do this. And I just feel bad because people are subscribing for this one group. And I'm like, I listen to 60. I don't know what to do. So it's very difficult.
That's real.
100%.
That's real.
100%. And just to piggyback up on that, Blackfoot 121, aka Suzanne, wants to know with having your channel, it takes a lot of precious time, right? Mental energy, dedication to keep it all running smoothly. and they want to know how you guys how you guys manage to keep it active and current while, trying to juggle life, your free time, self-care, that kind of thing.
Well, I just want to start off by say, Suzanne, it's always heartwarming to see your comments. I don't know if you know, but like whenever I see your comments, it makes my day better because you leave such heartwarming comments when it comes up. And no, like for real, you're always, it's like, I hope you have a wonderful day and stuff like that. That helps. So I just want to say that first and foremost. I really appreciate you. I see the comments. So, for me personally, it's definitely trying to keep a schedule.
Yeah.
That's something in my life recently that I've been trying to get more adamant about, is just trying to keep a consistent flow and schedule. I may not write it down, but I always have like a schedule of like, okay, I'm not going to just edit all night. I'm going to edit this, be done, because when I'm editing, I look at a screen 24/7. Yeah. Okay. So it's just like I gotta know when to step away, because if I don't, I'm gonna burn myself out. So when it comes when like the production side of it, I just gotta know to time myself, be like, okay, I need to get this done, have this out by tomorrow. Okay, and then in the morning I can wake up and do a little bit more. So that's for me. I just have to find a workflow that works for me, and that's natural with what I do on a day-to-day basis with my job and everything like that. And when it comes to like finding time to react and listen to some music, I'm just making sure that I'm putting it off to where it's not going to wear me down or anything like that. So that's really, I can all say to that, just maintaining a healthy schedule with whatever you're doing, and just to make sure you're making time for yourself. Ooh. This is fun. I love, doing the reacting and everything like that, but like, we like other things too. And it's whether it's like hanging out with your family, going out, doing something like this weekend. I was just like, oh man, it's hot, but it feels like to be outside.
Yeah. Like, hey, hello, sun.
The sun.
So it's just because I tend to sit down a lot because I game a lot and, I watch a lot of TV and stuff, but it's just like, you just got to know when to break away and give yourself some time. So I've been getting real better at it. And I'm trying to keep improving at that. But that really helps in the balance of everything that we do.
You want to go next, Prince?
Yeah. In terms of the balance, so I would say for some odd reason, mentally, I found it so much easier earlier on when I had less time. So now I kind of roll with this as my thing. Whereas previously I worked in New York City doing window cleaning, like high-rise cleaning on buildings and whatnot. So waking up at 4 a.m. from where I lived, more upstate, driving an hour and a half down to the city, working until 4 p.m., getting back at like 6:30, and then filming reactions until 8, hopefully editing it, and then getting back to sleep to wake up again at 4 a.m. And that was my day-to-day. And it was really hard. It was really hard, but something about the grind of it and the difficulty of it was exciting. And also it was the fact that I didn't have a lot of time to dedicate to this. So it was like, if there's a spare moment, boom, doesn't matter how you feel. Doesn't matter if you're not in the mood or if, you feel like you look off and you're not feeling confident today, or get on camera and film the damn thing because you have no time. It's either now or never. Whereas now it's like, I have so much time that I find it harder to get into the headspace of like, and I find I work into flows to where it's like, boom, I'll bang off like 9 things in a row like that. I'm just in a great mood. And other times it is just the hardest to just sit down and want to be on camera in front of people. It's really tough in that way. And it is surprisingly taxing in some ways. Like I was talking before we started recording to you guys about watching Boys Planet now, and Boys Planet is a long show. I'm watching Queendom Puzzle at the same time. These are 2.5 hours an episode shows. So when you go and you film something like that, and by the time you edit it, like there's a 3.5 hour dedication to one video. That's 3.5 hours not going anywhere else. To the YouTube channel, it's only going to Patreon. It's not going to the YouTube channel. It's not going to a lot of other things. So knowing where to put that time into what is going to help you and not exhaust you, because that's another thing too. 3 hours of like concentration, it's really different from sitting back on the couch, slumped over with like popcorn on your belly, and just passively taking in content as opposed to like sitting up straight, thinking of things to say and being presentable.
Yeah.
It's mentally draining and kind of physically too, because my back starts to hurt.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. I try to break it up by going to the gym. Used to be really in shape pre-pandemic, and then the pandemic just killed that. So I'm trying to actively go more to the gym and get back to my old ways, because I definitely had more energy too when I was much healthier than I am now. So that's a really good way to break it up. And since I moved here to Seattle and knowing nobody, having no friends or family, it's really easy to be more shut in and insular. And I could sometimes go 3 days without going outside, like easily. It could happen. And I think you need to really push yourself to not do that. But yeah, it's been harder now for me the more time I've had than anything.
No, that's deep. I empathize with a lot of the stuff you just said. For me, it's kind of tough. My wife keeps me grounded a lot because I don't know how to stop. I'm always working. Like, and if I'm not really working, I'm mentally doing something. So it's like a hyper focus. So I'll be hyper focused. Like, so when we're done, I'm editing. I'm not stopping until I'm done. And then I'm moving to the next thing, and I'm not stopping that until I'm done. And then I'm moving over to this. So no matter what, mentally, I'm always on, even when I'm not supposed to be. You know what I mean? And it sucks because it's like I try to, when the kids are playing board games, and I try to sit down and be present, but I'm always thinking about, oh man, in 2 weeks, this has to be done. Let me go ahead and get started on this now, even though I probably don't have to. I just like being so far ahead. I don't want to be caught, because there's been times in life where I've been caught in situations where I took advantage of the fact that I didn't have to have something done in a certain amount of time. And then the something happens, the deadline closes in on you, and now you can't make it. I'd rather be so far ahead that if that thing hits, I ain't got to worry about it. It's already done. You know what I mean? And having kids makes it a lot more harder to record.
Yeah.
So I have to, for my solo stuff, I have to record it like 4 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Before my daughter wakes up, because she's loud, and I'm trying to keep it somewhat professional. It's not the easiest thing to record videos 4 a.m. You know what I mean? Or I have to do it really late at night, considering the fact that I woke up at 4 a.m. Recording a video at like 11 o'clock at night isn't necessarily the best thing to do. So, I mean, I'm not complaining or anything. I'm just saying, like, it is tough. I'm still trying to juggle all of it and mentally be present and mentally disconnect from the work. But it's kind of tough, at least for me, just because, like, I'm literally always mentally working in my head. Like, I'll randomly be thinking, like, hey, this, and this. And this has nothing to do with this right now, but I just want to say it right now, so somebody else heard me say it. All right, now let me go ahead and go back to what I was doing. You know what I mean? So it's a struggle, but I mean, it comes with the territory.
Yeah.
If I could just quickly interject though, just with that, it's something came to mind of, in terms of like making time and being in the mood. That's also a big thing of like, do you guys ever feel like sometimes if you're fitting something, squeezing something in, that mood that you're in is affecting how you feel about the music, and you're not giving it the time of day, the proper reaction to it, kind of thing?
There's 100%.
There's been a few moments where I had to like stop myself and be like, you know what, I'm not reacting right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't want this to like affect my perception or something. Because I'm a very emotional person. People know I get hype. I get hype and I get angry. And I don't want to give one-sided feeling on something. So yeah. There's been plenty of times where I'll be like, okay, let me stand back for right now.
Well, I'm not gonna have anything deep to say. I say, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up with a high pressure life, as a children, so I built up some pretty strong calluses, when it comes to work-life balance. I mean, it's very important. It's a marathon. It's just one of those things where it's like you can't knock everything out. And I'm big on mood, where like I'm my best when I have the best energy around me. So I always try to kind of gravitate towards the things that give me the most energy. Like even this dynamic here at TRC, like energy is pure. So like I feel like I'm at my best at times, right? There's people around me in my circle. It's a balance, right? So sometimes you get tired, you gotta lean on somebody. Sometimes you get this. I'm not a one-man show, and I know that, right? I think I kind of sit better as a more of a composer in my lifestyle, because me doing everything, man, I move like an old computer. You know what I mean? I'm a floppy disk. You know what I'm saying?
Not a floppy disk.
Yeah.
He's the dial-up tone.
Hey, I know me. I know my struggles. I take out one thing at a time. Then I go in and take out one thing. It sucks. I know a lot of people hate me for it. It's like, man, what you move? It's like I can only move at this pace because if I go too far in front, it's going to impact other things around me. So it's like one of those things that the whole ship has to move, right? And once that ship is moving, it's sailing, right? If I try to push it by myself, I can only go but so far. So I think I'm more of I kind of lean around everything and everybody. So, and I listen to myself. Sometimes I want to do more and more and more and more. And I got to remind myself, I'm an old computer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may need some upgrades and some hard drives, and let me focus on that. Let me focus on, upgrading upgrading that. So in my life, I'm talking to a nutritionist. I'm doing this. I'm practicing maybe meditation, working out. Like the whole collective to me is just, it makes everything else a little bit better, in my opinion. But sorry guys, that's all I can.
Well, I mean, one thing is I'm honestly really envious of you guys and your dynamic in that, like, what is it? What's the like high tides raise all ships kind of thing of, for me, if I'm really in a bad mood, or say I just have a week where I'm feeling kind of depressed, like your channel takes that shot. Like when I made this big move all across the country and drove that whole way and had to, I didn't move with anything, and I had to buy a whole new apartment and get my computer set up. And I lost like 300 people on Patreon just from that. Boom. Because you're not posting, and say you're bringing the pure energy just yourself. Like it's really nice. And I'm envious of you guys. So like, if I'm not feeling it that day, I know someone else is going to, and bring my mood up, and I'm going to fall in line with as the people are around me. Where if I'm feeling off from having like kind of a moments where I'm feeling a little depressed over that month or something, there's no way of really someone else pulling me out of it kind of thing. And I don't want it to taint like the rest of the content type deal. So it's really nice that you guys have that to where you could lean on each other in those situations, and also someone like, I'm gonna pull the slack like this week, or not even this week, but like this reaction specifically, if someone's feeling it and someone's not, you always kind of have that to lean on, and that's really nice.
Yeah, then everybody can hate me when I don't like something, and I'll be the better.
There we go. Just got to shift the blame.
So yeah, it's good. It's good. I know he's happy a lot of the times. Like, hey, they used to always talk about me.
Right.
So it's on you now.
You got the juice.
Yeah, you got the juice now, King. I get to be a nice little rice cake over here. You know what I mean?
Rice cake.
Just neutral. And
Rice cake's inoffensive. Yeah, neutral.
yeah, man.
Ooh, that was deep. Okay, so next question is from Asa Once. So as you guys branch out into this podcast land and do these K-pop music challenges with the Tune Trials, especially doing them with other reactors, they're loving them, by the way.
Oh.
Are there any other concepts or ideas that you want to add to the channel?
Yes, but do you want to know yet? Don't you want to just see it when it happens? We're doing some stuff
Behind the scenes. I got you.
I'll just leave it at that. We have some stuff coming.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've said it more than a few times. Like I think one of the things I'm very proud of is Tune Trials recently, because I think we said that in the beginning of the year. Like, amazing. What we wanted to do was try to create something with the reactors and try to do something that's more laid back and fun. Like, I know everybody watches us for reactions, but like I wanted to create something that would be like just fun and interactive. And I took a look at it yesterday. I'm like, man, got 35K views now.
Oh wow.
And I was just like, wow. And I'm very happy about that, because just like I wanted it to like do not just for the numbers' sake, but I see a lot of comments like, "Oh, this is pretty cool. This is great," But yeah, I think we always want to add something different, just because reacting is fun.
Yeah.
But I like trying to like challenge myself and try to be the term content creator is just it's such a term now, and it's just like I want to be a content creator, y'all. Yeah. And I'm not saying reaction is not content, because it is work, but I always want to challenge myself to do something that will be outside of what you're comfortable in. And I guess in this instance, it'll be outside of just doing reaction videos. I want to try something else, do some kind of long form, short form content, whatever it may be. And it's really cool. So yeah, there's a lot of things that we want to try. And I think that everybody should want to try something different, because you never know what it could do.
Ditto. I wouldn't mind.
Just kind of like what Prince was alluding to earlier. Like, even if you just want to start a reaction channel,
yeah,
and then you don't know where you would go from there. It might lead you to something else. So I think it's the journey. So even though you start at one place, you never know what it can lead you to.
Yeah, I
did answering the question without answering the question.
No, that was the answer.
I feel like that's the answer.
Okay.
I was going to say the same thing. I mean, look at us. We might mess around being part of a K-drama. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know about all that.
I think just the journey. I think it's, just keep doing things and have fun. Like I would love to just keep, diving more into the culture. So ditto.
Yeah, it's definitely something I think about in terms of like, how are you going to separate yourself or do something unique? It's another reaction to a Twice video or this or that. Like it's a lot of the same content, and to spice it up with something fresh or something at least different where the tone is different, like something long form like this. I would like something like this. I would love to do every week, as it breaks up your routine and what you're used to doing. And I think it's very helpful mentally and also for the content that people are receiving. I had mentioned probably to a lot of people in my community like a year and a half, 2 years ago, there's really no standardized, like great, like everyone is pointing to it, K-pop podcasts out there. It doesn't really exist for the most part. Like you have some that I've listened to throughout the years, but none that is like, consistent every week and kind of overarching across a lot of different groups kind of thing. And I think that's something sorely missing. So this is great for that. And also like that cultural element, fun videos that you can create that are all over YouTube. Like I had one idea of like, hey, there are lists out there of like each member of Twice's like favorite comfort snacks or something. Why don't I just set up an order and buy those? And like we do a little taste test of, Gio loves this. Let's see. And we get to explore the culture a little bit.
Not a bad idea.
That was my idea. Trademark. I'm not going to Blockberry this. I'm not going to Blockberry this.
Well, love to be a guest.
So that was like one of my ideas. It's doing something different that makes it a little bit more fresh and fun. And the Tune Trials is a perfect example of that. And also the fact I think it's really cool that you guys are bringing in that it doesn't have to be adversarial amongst people doing the same thing of peers, because I think that is something that we just put in the back of our heads a lot. It's something that gets me down a lot, to where I'll be doing this a lot and putting so much work into this. Someone will start this week and boom, 80K subscribers. And I'm like, what the hell? What am I doing? My whole life is like, what am I doing? And you need to really not focus in on that, or else you'll be eternally miserable. So making a community amongst reactors, I think, is really helpful too. So the Tune Trials is really good for that.
Anybody else got anything? You good?
I mean, I'll just add. I just like the idea of the us interviewing other reactors.
Man,
like I think I've said it before. Sometimes it comes off as like, hey, we don't actually care what you guys are doing. We just want to see what you guys think of this song. But there are some people that are real fans of us, and they actually do want to hear about us and hear us talk outside of the reaction. So, us bringing on other reactors and stuff like that. I think that's cool for people to get to know them outside of just the reaction to the video. So that maybe they'll understand why the person is reacting the way they are to something, Yeah,
and then I think because everybody can speak, like we all appreciate all of you who's watching and listening for taking the time to consume this content. Because I know you know, you might be here for one thing, but for the most of you that have, especially all the supported the Tune Trials and supporting the podcast, whatever you do, we love it because I mean we'll see somebody share something on Twitter like, oh dang, they shared that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Like,
And a lot of our jobs suck, so it's good to have something to listen to while we're at our shitty ass jobs.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that. Like, yo, I was listening to this while I was working. It's just like, oh, well, dang, I'm happy we can provide that, you know, so your job the time at your job can go faster and everything like that. So I don't know, it's cool. So yeah, if y'all keep on, you know, loving it and giving us the feedback, it's gonna keep coming.
Everything. And then us being other content creators and reactors, man, that's special. Like even hearing each other's stories, it's like, I don't know, it does something different. Because on camera is one thing, but now we get a chance to really exchange. We're kind of building a community of our own. So important, man. So shout out.
Yeah, and it's all about kind of that's why the people that are clicking on this and say the Tune Trials, things like that, they're the real ones. Like you're coming for the personality, and I think that comes with time. Say we were mentioning about people starting their own reaction channel or just doing it. Just do it, and at first you're gonna do what you've seen. You're gonna do who you like to watch, that other reactors, and then soon over time you start to find your voice, and that voice is going to attract people that are not clicking on this video because it says Stray Kids on it. They're clicking on it because you uploaded it, and that is what's special. That when they come for your voice, your unique voice, because we all come from very different walks of life, have had different experiences, have different takes on everything. Right. And it's finding the person, just like any critic, any like game writer or you know, movie critic, it's finding the person that you align with, to where like, I vibe with this guy. So what they have to say, you know, means something a little bit more, and also, you know, is like a reflection of maybe me in some ways. And yeah, so that's why I think people who are watching things like this are like in it for the long haul, and I appreciate that.
Most def.
Okay, so next up we have Alasa X Reacts 9935. They want to know how K-pop has changed your perspective in music, and if you've learned anything about yourself listening to or being a part of K-pop.
I mean, like I've always had a wide ear for music. I mean, I always use the term. I think music is my life. You know what I'm saying? I can't do anything without music. Anytime I relate anything to anything, it's always music. Like my wife does Disney, I do music. You know, we'll both look at something and she'll quote something from a Disney movie, and I'll quote something from a song.
So factual.
But yeah, music is like, I don't think I would have made it as far without music. There's literally a song. Anytime I have a mood, there's literally a song for that. You know what I mean? To either help me sink further into that mood if I want to, or help me get up out of that mood. So music's literally pulled the strings of my life, in my opinion, like the entire time I've been here on this planet. So I don't feel like K-pop's had anything specific outside of the fact that I do like the joy. You know, Prince alluded to it earlier. K-pop brings a lot more joy than a lot of other genres of music, I believe, and you know, that's very welcomed.
I feel like there hasn't been nothing that has changed my perspective in music for K-pop, but from what I've gained from it is the fact that there can still be a good community surrounding something.
Yeah.
Like there's always something like you think like, I'm not like, you know, a part of this kind of clique or something like that. Like, oh, I don't fit in there and I fit in theirs. But I feel like with K-pop, it's like, come, like we said it before, come as you are and just mingle. Like I just feel how it is. And I think that side of it is just what has really changed my outlook on some things, because you can really discover a lot about other people that you may see yourself in.
Yeah.
And that's a real comforting feeling when you, like, you know, every time you try to find something that have something in common with somebody, but when you see like that on a wide spectrum, it's like just really reassuring, because it's just like, man, like I thought I was the only one that like this type of stuff. And you know, I just feel like, you know, it's just me, but no, it's you and a whole lot of people. So, you know, I kind of felt like in some terms, like of like, especially with music, like with us, it's like, it's okay if you don't like this, but I like that. It's okay. And like, for the most part, if you stay off Twitter, you know, you find people like, oh, it's okay that you don't like that. It's all right. It's good. But, you know, for the most part, it's really inviting, and people more try to have a conversation with you rather than being mad at you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love about the K-pop community and everything. And I feel like that has changed my outlook on things, because I feel like we can have more grounded conversations about what you like.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. You know, I told you guys I have doctorates in ears, man. So I think for me, I just enjoy just hearing all music like everybody else is. I think I was never ever like, oh, what is this K-pop thing? I was kind of always I'm open to all music. But what I really like about the music is experiences. I can tell you, I can go back to eras and let you know what I was on, what type of time I was on in that era. Yeah. Right. This is just another pin to this era. In my more adulthood, you know, K-pop has consumed that, and it's also built a community and things of that nature, and kind of how they pulled us in as well. You know, when we first started, it was like, oh, we're not gonna let you guys go. get in here. Are you hungry? Are you hungry? You know what I'm saying? Do you need anything? Are you thirsty? Right. And that's how this community brought us in. So, you know, now I feel like it's making me a better individual, it's making me even more open-minded, and making my palette even more, you know, I don't know, just open to any sound or anything that anybody's doing that's different. You know, I have a better way of embracing it.
Yeah, I love what you said about eras too. That's something that's really great about K-pop, in that you're seeing these idols debut, and you can remember just seeing artist growth is so cool, and it's never more emblematic than with K-pop, because you're given such an insight that you aren't with a lot of other artists, to where it feels like you're both watching an episode of Big Brother, of a camera in the dorms, like chilling out and then relaxing. Yeah. And you get to know these people to a degree. I mean, that's one thing that some people think they know them too well, but you get to know them to a degree. Yeah, they're not necessarily your friend. They don't know you, but it's still nice to have that personality, and to see people grow in their abilities and their personalities over time. And that's really unique. And as far as the community, one thing, as like I said before, people coming from all walks of life, like in mine specifically, like there are lawyers, there are doctors, there are models, people that play, you know, junior hockey. There's people from all over the place that do all different types of things. And that is, say true for every kind of music genre, maybe. But one thing I can't say about every music genre is there has rarely been a show that I've gone to and I've seen everywhere from 10 years old to in their 60s at the same show. Yeah. Same show. Yeah. And it's really nice to see. Some of my favorite experiences going to live shows, and I've gone to like way too many in the last year and a half, like a lot, is the line. Just talking with other people in the long line. You line up 3 to 4 hours before the damn show. You better make some friends next to you in line, or else it's going to be a boring time. So it's so easy to just make friends that way, and you're so excited to talk about it. Well, who's your bias? Well, what's your favorite group? Oh, I liked this release. And as long as you stay off Twitter, it's such a warm community. Such a warm community.
All right. So next up, we have a question from Polbear15. They want to know, which non-Korean artists do you think would do well in K-pop?
I'll just pick the person that everybody seems to pick all the time, Tinashe.
Oh, wow.
I mean, people seem to look up to her and like her vibe, and she does do pop music that could fit in the K-pop genre. So I'll just pick Tinashe.
It was hard for me to choose, but I chose Normani.
Oh yeah,
I feel like she can fit that mold perfectly. So yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Soulja Boy, but I was like, no, I know how the groove's going to
Oh my god! Get out of here.
He's probably a fan of K-pop, though, right? I can see that.
He's a fan of money, but if I had to, I would say Pink Sweat, maybe. You know, maybe that might be a stretch, but that's a hard one. I was gonna say Doja Cat, and I was like, y'all not gonna accept that one either. But that's pretty much Pink Sweat, or maybe Toby, but maybe.
So I don't listen to any Western pop. I'm not really a Western pop fan. Mostly, like I said, I'm more into like indie electronic stuff or rock or metal, things like that. So in terms of like I didn't recognize nearly any names you guys just mentioned. I'm sorry, but for me, I think I chose pretty obvious ones of like some pop artists that I do like. And I don't even know these artists like super well. But I chose number one. I chose Rina Sawayama, who I think almost kind of blends perfectly. I think there are plenty of people that love K-pop that really love her. And in a similar vein, in terms of like the way her music is structured, I chose Charlie XCX, who was kind of in that similar like PC music genre vein that was around in like 2015. That was super interesting. With like they had like artists like I think Poppy and artists like that. Who was the other one? Oh, is it Sophie? I think Sophie was her name. And the artists like that, I think that have a bit of a new thing to bring, and also kind of a like avant-garde style that I think would fit really well into K-pop.
Nice.
Dang, nice.
All right. So next question. We have from RXMZ2386. So would you guys rather amazing skill and techniques in vocals, but average dancing, or vice versa? Thinking more in the context of like survival shows like Boy Planet.
I'm like Warren G. I want it all.
There you
Brand new
go.
socks and drawers.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying we're getting a lot of acts that are more versatile and people can do everything. I'm not opposed to people specializing in one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's why we have groups, right? You have people that these are the things they do well, and then this person does these things well, and then you have that person that's you know an army switchblade, and they got 18 roles and they can do it all, and that person ends up becoming most people's biases. So
Yeah.
I think you can generally see how people feel about that.
Well, I'll be the tough one on here and choose one.
There we go.
I think I would lean more towards the vocal side.
Yeah.
Just because of how I am.
Yeah.
I love dance. I do, but there's just something when you get those right vocals. Close your eyes and Vicious Ace music all day. That's it.
Same here, man. You know, I've coming from a person who's, you know, try to get their girlfriend back. I try dancing, I try singing. I think singing works the best.
Jesus Christ.
No, you're right. Singing does work the best.
It's probably because you didn't dance as good as you
No,
sung.
I'm telling
Hey,
you,
you're probably
no.
right.
It's something about when you sing. That's a lot more dedication.
A little bit more
Shout out to
dedication.
Megan Good and Stomp the Yard. All right.
All right, good point. Good point. But I'm more. I know singing is, you know, singing you can make people feel things. You know, when you're dancing, you know, it's a little bit different.
Say the Last Dance. I mean, come on, we can name every dance movie,
Right.
Yeah,
and they ain't won them by singing, they won them by dancing.
but ain't
You guys seen 10 Dance and you didn't feel anything from that?
Okay.
Say it.
I'm just saying, if you can't sing and then you try to sing,
Hey,
it's like, oh, you tried, and I love you for that. Like that's how I feel it is.
and with singing, you can kind of settle and let people know. You kind of hum some stuff.
Yeah.
With
yeah.
dancing, you can't,
You can't
be just
improvise.
dancing. Yeah,
You can't. Like with singing, you can get away with a
get it.
bad note here and there and try to do something different. Dancing, if you mess up, you mess up.
See, I see it as the opposite, to where like to a layman, I think like if I can notice you cannot sing faster than I notice that like you cannot dance, because
Right.
I just think it's seeing like a rough dancer is not so bad as hearing a bad singer, to where I'm like,
Ooh, when you say
And-
that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, good point.
and on Boys Planet, let me tell you, these first couple episodes where you got, like I said earlier, like 90 something guys going into the show, a lot of them can't do either, like at all.
Wow.
Like they're coming from the ground floor, and that's when I kind of have to understand from this trainee process, like some of them just come in purely because like you're a good look, like we will teach you to sing and dance, and they're coming in with zero experience and they got to put themselves out there, and it is, you want to see like Hindenburg 2.0, it is brutal some of the times, like really brutal. And I would definitely, from what I've heard so far, purely on these recent 2 episodes, vocals. Absolutely. I'd rather you have better vocals than not be able to dance.
So you can be taught to how to sing? Like,
Yeah.
don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, you watch Making the Band.
Yeah, man.
No, but I thought you had to.
No.
Like
You can learn how to sing.
Yeah, you can learn.
Yeah.
Really?
People don't sing correctly. They don't use their diaphragm and stuff.
Yeah.
So-
You can be taught how to sing.
I did not know that.
I've learned that from experience.
News to me. Okay, that was a great question. Then hell,
Solid.
because I things I didn't know. Okay, so then we are moving on to Amelia Rose. Wait, did I just read that? No, Amelia Rose 5817. No, I didn't just say that. No. Okay, so do you guys think that idols should write their own music or not?
Yes.
Yeah, they want to get paid.
Well, then.
Like,
You're gonna elaborate, or it's just.
I mean,
Yes.
yes. I mean, why not?
Okay.
Yeah, I thought
That's
this was an obvious one.
Yeah. this
you
is-
will
yes.
you will connect so much more to an artist that you know has penned that lyric, that has like, you feel that this is them on the page, on the screen.
Yes.
Like knowing that, you know, Bangchan worked on a lot of their music, or Hongjoong wrote so and so's rap. Like you connect with it in a different way, knowing this came from their brain or their heart, and it's so much easier to connect that way.
And that's not to discredit anybody that has written for somebody else, because I think that's great too.
Yeah.
But if you have the option to write your own, go for
Why
it.
not?
Why not?
Working in the studio, I kind of come of the ilk that, look, everybody doesn't have to write their music. The only reason I say that is because there's people that don't want to be in the spotlight, and they need jobs too. And
Yeah.
some of these are some of the best songwriters in the world. Like we have Kenzie, you know what I'm saying? We have MJF, Melanie Joy Fontana. We have people that don't like the spotlight, and they are very good at what they do. Now, if we're talking about for the long run and the longevity of these artists' financial status, I believe it's in their best interest to write. So, you know, I feel like there's a reason for both. I personally, like, you can't tell me like Whitney Houston didn't sing "I Will Always Love You" better than Dolly Parton. I mean, she literally destroyed the song and made it sound like some of the most incredible stuff you ever heard, and she didn't write a single word to that. But she felt it in her core, and she sung it as if she did. So, you know, I feel like both are necessary. Now, I am of the ilk where you're not about to be walking around here talking about you're the greatest and you ain't write it.
Hey.
You know, that's probably the hip hop in me. You can't rap, you know, Kanye West. You can't say you're the best rapper alive and you didn't write it. But you know, you can say you're the best entertainer.
Yeah.
You know, but for the sake of their monetary futures, I think they should write.
I also think it's a core element for a rapper specifically that
Right.
you better be writing your own stuff. Like that better be a thing that you at least dabble in. And for the core future thing that you mentioned, that is huge, especially in K-pop. You look at someone like Soyeon,
Mhm.
she's got Cube by their, you know,
Oh, yeah.
she could do whatever she wants. She could do whatever she
Beautiful.
wants. Like it doesn't matter. Like they are bending to her because she makes their money, not them. So that's huge. Now they can dictate whatever they want on in incoming contract talk. So it's very important that you at least dabble in some producing. And I think that is just becoming so much more commonplace in K-pop in general. You look at even like a lot of the newer groups, like I know like Purple Kiss does a lot of that as well. So it's important.
So, okay, so to kind of piggyback off of that, Aaliyah Caro 5015 wants to know, in your opinion, who are the top idols that have amazing rap skills? Do you think any of them can go solo?
I'll name one, and I'll just piggyback off what Prince just alluded to. Yuki from Purple Kiss. I mean, I know she's on Queendom Puzzle. She writes all her own raps. She's incredible. I think she has what it takes to do her own solo thing.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely have to piggyback off of that because, yeah, Yuki.
Writing her own lyrics, Japanese idol that was learning the language at the same time. That takes a lot of work, and she already has so many credits already. It's very impressive that you see her where she is now at this age. Where the hell is she going to be in 4 years from now? So,
And the key thing, I want you to people to catch what you said. She's Japanese. In other words, she came to Korea alone. She doesn't have anybody there.
mhm.
So
My choice, I would definitely, I couldn't not, yeah, I have to agree with the Yuki thing, but I'd also go with who has also released solo work. So maybe you could say they've gone solo already, but Do Hansei of Victon is filthy. He's absolutely filthy. So he's one of my my favorite rappers out there in terms of K-pop. So choose him. I think any of Three Racha could do it. I would lean towards Changbin. I just love his tone specifically, and I think that as a pure rapper, he would be a great fit. Whereas like with Han, I really love his vocals as well, and wouldn't want to choose one over the other kind of thing. And also someone that I've just recently taken a liking to that is one of those rappers where you're like, hey, I didn't realize how much I initially loved his rapping ability is Joseph of Card. Has a really great flow to him too, and I think he'd be a great pick.
Bang Bang, you got anybody?
Oh, I agree with the guys.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
I got one, but people don't want me to say his name. Mark. But you know, I'll just say that.
Can we do one thing without mentioning Mark? Okay.
And technically, yeah.
Mark's my bias, so I love it.
I didn't mention him on the acting thing on purpose. Okay. Because I was about to put him in every role.
I couldn't let this video in without mentioning Mark.
I was going to put Mark in every role because it's like he can do everything. You know what I mean?
The genius.
The genius.
Okay, go ahead.
I can't. So, Amelia Rose 5817. She just has a lot of good questions. But anyway, they want to know what's your favorite discography by a K-pop act.
You know what? It was easily Red Velvet, but I want to say with every album that comes out twice is definitely catching them for me. Because Red Velvet, I love everything from debut. Like with Twice, I start loving Twice's stuff after Feel Special. I think their albums start getting more better and complete. And ATs and Stray Kids are easy additions to that.
I want to say this question was tough because we haven't even covered everything. So it's just like, so I had to think of in recent memory as our channel as a growth, like, you know, from beginning to now, and ATs came straight to mind.
Yeah.
Just because with every release, they build up on it. And it's like, I know they have a concept, it's a series and everything, and that's what it's supposed to. It's supposed to get larger, but they literally get larger than life with every release. And it's just like, how do y'all keep on going ahead? I don't understand it. So if I had to just pick one in terms of that instance, it'll be ATs for sure.
People haven't heard the new album, Doing Yourself a Disservice. It is so mind-blowingly good. It's my favorite this year so far. That's incredible. My pick, it's really tough. Red Velvet is such a good one. And the first one that obviously comes to mind when you think of like solid gold discographies, excellent B-sides, Red Velvet is the one. I have to go with Mamamoo. Because I love the arc of Mamamoo, of the distinct, we want to talk about eras. Like a group like Mamamoo has eras of what you know is an older Mamamoo song compared to like their Four Color series compared to more modern, newer Mamamoo. Also very distinctly them, but still different. And I love that about them. I saw them live last month, and I flew down to Arizona to see them, and it was just like transcendent. Like to see them, hear them live vocally, they're absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's like a privilege to just hear them sing, and I just got to go with them.
So
great choice.
Yes, I will go with I would say I mean Twice is an easy one. Stray Kids, you know, Shiny. But if I really think about it from like kind of like what Ace mentioned, since we've been kind of doing this, I would say EXO from me. But yeah. I mean, I know early on they really hooked me, and you know I'm looking forward for them to continue to keep knocking things out the park.
That excites me because that's a group I've really barely touched. Honestly, I've listened to maybe like their first 4 or 5 title tracks, and then some of their more recent ones, like their last 3 or 4. And then I know like your big ones like Monster and everything like that. But in terms of B-sides, haven't touched it. So that's something I'm really looking forward to.
All right. Next question. Do you guys think that the success of big companies groups are due to their companies?
Yes.
Yes.
1000%.
I mean, it's unfortunate that some of the smaller groups don't get the press that they get. But if you look at the view counts on videos, they pretty much fall in line with the label popularity.
It sucks.
Yes, what it is.
No, it really does suck. 'Cause it's
I mean,
just
it was like that in hip hop too.
It's
So
like that.
it's like that in
Oh,
R&B.
yeah. It's like that. It's just like the bigger your company, the bigger the brand, the bigger the name. Of course, it's going to help the group.
And then you have fans that only like one company.
Yeah,
That's it.
and unfortunately, so yes.
Is like as an athlete have a better chance of getting signed if they have a top 3 agent in the country compared to any random guy in their hometown? Like, it's just different. They have different resources, different connections, and also sometimes, well, I will never point out names because that would be suicide. But you can walk on stage and lay a crap on the floor, and if you come from a big company, people will love it, and you'll get views no matter what. And that's not going to happen for a small group. It's sink or swim.
They have to
So
nail everything.
yeah, exactly. They don't have, like, that's why, at least at the time, it was called Big Three privilege. I guess we wouldn't call it Big Three anymore, but that is a thing. I think that is absolutely a thing. Just as the rich get richer and the poor really have to nail it to get to that level.
Yeah. Facts.
All right, last question. We have Ashtal 2518 wants to know, have you ever thought right song, wrong group, and provide an example?
Look, man, this is the most stressful question for me. And the only reason I say that is because I know how people might react to what I'm going to say. Look,
I think we're going to have the same song.
I'm not saying that either group. I'm going to give you 2 examples of, like, so I don't think the groups did the song worse. I just think if you swapped the songs, that, to me, I think that they can do better justice to it. So I'm going to say give Blackpink's Ice Cream to aespa, and I'm going to say give Next Level to Blackpink. I personally think that would result in better songs. I'm not saying anybody sung anything worse than anybody or anybody sung anything better than anybody. I'm not saying any member of any group is better than any member. I'm just saying, like, if you swap the songs, I think the songs would have came out better. Just my personal opinion. I think that's the God honest truth for those songs.
You're going to take Next Level away from aespa. No one can say Next Level like Winter can. Like, no one can say it like her.
I actually think if you gave that to Blackpink, I think they would have killed that record. I understand that people have the YG like sound love and they have the SM sound love, but I do think if we swap the songs, like, even if you just took Savage, right? I think Blackpink would have came off a little bit more savage than aespa. I mean, people are gonna be mad, but you know, I said what I said. And I'm not reading the comments.
There we go.
I can make them matter by just piggybacking off of it and commenting. And that, I think if you did that, okay, that's if you took the song distilled from each other. But I think Teddy would make the song worse. Sorry.
Next Level.
Yeah.
Or sad, yeah, because he'd add that last section that's supposed to be a dance break that's really annoying.
The YG party.
It's good on some songs. It's really bad when it ain't good. Ace, go ahead and I hope I'm not taking your bad guy tag from you. Here's your chance to get it back.
I don't want it.
There we go. Good job. That's what I'm doing.
You are a brave son. You are brave. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Okay?
Yeah, there we go. A real one, if you will.
I made the notion I'm not going to mention any groups.
There we go. I didn't say.
And the reason I said that is because I don't think K-pop.
I got another one for you if you want.
In that element, K-pop is not. And y'all might call me out, but y'all not mature enough.
Let's get controversial.
I got another one.
Y'all not mature enough. Hold on, but
much.
they're not mature enough to handle that concept. We do it in R&B, hip hop, and everything all the time. You know, but when it's K-pop, it's like, how dare you?
Yeah, man.
And I don't want to touch that because I don't feel like K-pop has matured to where they can be like, you know, I could see Blackpink doing that.
Ooh.
I can see aespa doing that. I don't think y'all have matured enough to where y'all can actually. I mean, I feel thankful that we can see covers sometime by these groups. I'm like, oh, they
Yeah,
were.
that's
I
cool.
joke with Dame all the time. They were allowed to do that because they actually let them cover this.
Yeah.
So that's just. I mean, listen. Let me answer the question. Yes, there have been some groups where I'll be like, I don't think this is for them, and I think I've said that on a reaction.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but somebody was just like, how could you know what's for them?
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I don't say nothing about it no more, because most of y'all ain't mature enough to handle the thought of that.
Hey, so what do you think it is? Not saying y'all know I love Purple Kiss.
Oh no.
Purple Kiss killed Can We Talk Again, right?
Yes.
How would Mamamoo have done that song?
And that's a possibility too in the same company, you know?
I can get with that.
I think Aya could have been done better by Purple Kiss.
I could agree with that maybe.
I'm on that camera.
But it's the same level. It's the same label, so it's not controversial.
I'm on that Can We Talk Again. I want that.
That's the thing, though.
Mind that.
I don't necessarily think someone would do it. I want to see the other group do it. That's the thing. I don't. It's not who's doing it better. I really want to see Mamamoo perform that song.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want Purple Kiss's version to not exist.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Did you have
bang, bang.
anything?
No, I'm not answering that. That's y'all. Y'all have fun with that. You know.
See, I love stuff like this, even though if it's difficult for some people. It's just like, I don't know.
Well,
You got to
most
grow
of
up
those people
sometime.
are probably ain't in here anymore. Anybody that would be
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
That's the thing. The people that are like really involving themselves in the conversation or talking on your discords and things like that, largely they're well-adjusted adults. They're not the people that are going to go off on you on Twitter kind of thing. They're, you know, they understand that we don't mean any harm by any of these groups. It's just something that's fun to think about. For me, though, boy, did something come to mind immediately and is like, this is a song that I don't think this group should have performed, period. And that's Cookie by New Jeans.
That's a good one.
Because that song is a great song, and it is not meant for girls that are that age.
Good stuff.
That is absolutely.
You know who would kill
great.
Cookie though? Idol would have killed Cookie.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like,
Good stuff.
ooh, that's such a good one.
That's a good one.
Because
That's a good one.
that's actually an example where I'll be like, yeah, I don't think that should have been a new song.
Yeah.
That's a great example.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And I had people in the comments being like, "Oh, it's just Mr." Like, this company, they are a international company. You don't think Hype, you don't think Big Hit knew what they were doing?
It's a burnt CD.
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay.
come on now, come on, we're not naive here. So,
Yeah.
And the thing is,
those people that said that don't think the artists are getting it in.
Yeah. Okay.
but what I hate about it is that I love the song. It's a great
Right.
song. It's so good. It's so catchy. I'm hearing it now. I just don't want to see it coming out of them. I just wish they were a bit grown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So-
I completely agree with that.
I don't know though. That's the thing. I didn't think about it. Who I would give it to. That's the only issue. Someone with a little playful like flirtiness and spunkiness. I could see Idol.
Yana?
Yeah.
Yeah, mention Yana. She can do it.
Yeah.
What about
Somi.
a group though. We
Oh,
got
Group. Yeah. It's a group song.
Although Somi is a
Idol.
good solo pick.
Yeah.
I think Idol would kill it.
Yeah. I don't.
Because I mean, Soyeon would have rewritten the song, but it would have been really raunchy. I think if Soyeon had her hands on that.
What about
Could
Red
you
Velvet?
fathom
Would it be?
twice singing Cookie?
I'm all for it.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
But you know
they've been
what?
Close.
Their style of singing would definitely come off different on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
What about Red Velvet?
I think that's a great Red Velvet like rookie-ish era, like maybe a Red Velvet of like 3 years ago
Yeah.
or so. I think 4 years ago would really nail that.
Yeah, not right now though. With what they do,
I can see Red Velvet.
I think XG could do it though.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was solid.
That was a solid one.
Solid.
That was great.
Oh, that was the last question for real?
Yeah.
Oh, we got through all the questions.
Oh wow.
Okay. So man, I guess that's the whole podcast. I didn't think we was gonna get through all the questions.
Okay.
I did. There is a 50-50 question on here that's at least on my sheet that I did want
I
to
missed
maybe get to.
Oh, okay.
I apologize.
Oh,
Let
no,
me-
it's just something that I thought was interesting. It was 50-50 are breaking records as new rookies, but Korea has been quiet about their soaring success. Are they in line with New Jeans, IVE, or Triple S?
To me, no. However, I'm glad that they're having a lot of success, and it doesn't have to come just from Korea for the group to be successful. And the only reason I'm saying they're not on a level is the other groups is because the other groups got a couple smashes like back to back to back. New Jeans is literally flawless in my opinion with everything they put out. NMIX is really damn near flawless. I mean, if you ask Ace, he's gonna remove Young Dumb Stupid.
I wouldn't say that.
But he would say they're flawed. Le Seraphim's been on a roll.
Yeah.
I feel like IVE is kind of falling a little bit behind everybody else as of late. XG has been flawless.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to put 50-50 up there with all of the other groups that they came out around the time because it seems like they only have like one song really taking off with the Cupid joint.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they're having the success that they're having. And I think it's imperative for people to remember that it's okay for artists to have success without the mother country that their label, is coming from. I hope they continue to have success as well.
It's another thing of
Song is a
like,
good song.
yeah. But the thing with 50-50 that is that like Cupid, I really enjoy, but I think they have plenty of other much better songs. I think their like first batch of songs that they put out they're so good. I prefer their first debut title track to Cupid, and it did kick off huge, which is great for them. Now they're in dispute with their label as well currently right now. So I don't know if I'm going to be seeing them in 2 months at KCON where they're supposed to be. But to put them in line right now off of like one big hit with like New Jeans and IVE, like definitely not. And then Triple S included in there. Triple S is like their own thing. There's nothing like them. A lot of those idols in Triple S are like what I mentioned on Boys Planet. Many of them have zero training at all. And it's interesting because then it is a thing where we're seeing them grow from baseline, like not where they were 4 years of trainees behind the scenes, but from like day one, we're seeing them with no training and seeing that grow, which is really interesting. So yeah, 50-50, love the success. It's weird that people would tear them down for having so much success. Support all groups. I don't know. But yeah.
Hey, look, I agree. I feel like the 50-50 situation, I mean, I guess they are as big as as their label situation is. I just really hope that whatever push they get in advertising and things of that nature, it's very competitive right now. It's super competitive.
Yeah.
So if they can keep up and figure things out, man, the sooner the better. Because right now there's some groups slinging some fire. And a couple months from now, it might be another group that comes out, so 50-50 be 40-40 or something, or some new group that just comes out and just takes everything by storm. So, I just keep producing.
And imagine the amount of pressure you're on when you have a hit like that and you have to follow up.
Yeah.
That is pressure.
Pressure.
There was one more question to 1080p from Michael D'Angelo 7452.
I can't read today.
Do you genuinely think a K-pop group could ever win a Grammy? Look, I don't know how many times I got to say this.
Oh God!
Fuck the Grammys.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I thought I was going to be alone in this. Thank you.
No.
Who cares?
It's bad.
Who cares?
If an idol wins a Grammy, it's great. It doesn't mean anything. The BS that goes behind the scenes for people to get Grammys and stuff like that. They invite you to the show. Sometimes they promise them stuff just to get them there. They only want people there for the views. That's why they only invite BTS. Fuck the Grammys.
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't matter. I hope idols do win the Grammys, but you'd probably be better off caring whether they win Mama Awards and MMA Awards, even though that's still kind of janky with the way that's done. So fuck awards. Just go support your favorite idol. Buy their albums when you can. Go see their concerts. Buy their merch if you can. Fuck the Grammys. I hate them. I hate the Grammys.
No, the Grammys are awful. You have bands like fucking Daughtry winning best rock act. Like, what are you talking about? Daughtry it just makes no sense. It's all like a political thing. And the only thing I could say is that I know that there are a lot of like idols that there is a romanticization of like American life sometimes. And I think a lot of them would absolutely go bonkers to win a Grammy. I think they would absolutely love it because that's what they've grown up seeing. They've been seeing, you know, Jay-Z winning so many Grammys and things like that. And you aspire to that. So for them, I would love that. But as a whole, fuck the Grammys.
Like I always go off like this. LL Cool J doesn't have a Grammy. Snoop Dogg doesn't have a Grammy. Tupac never won a Grammy. DMX never won a Grammy. Like there's so many people that you can easily make the argument. You know, Kendrick Lamar lost his debut album Grammy to Mac
That was
Lamar.
infamous too.
You know, there's just so many ones where you just like really raise an eyebrow to. 50 Cent didn't win Best New Artist the year he lost to Evanescence, even though I love that one song.
That's funny.
50 Cent had a good album. Fuck the Grammys, okay? There's so many awards. All of us can pick one where we're like, yeah, that person got a church.
Oh yeah.
You know, check out the performances after on YouTube so that their show can die and just keep it moving.
There you go. That's how you do it.
You support the Grammys?
No. I don't support the Grammys.
We got to have somebody here that supports them.
I just know that is something that artists, that's a goal.
Yeah, yeah. it's the
I
Super Bowl.
understand that's something to reach for.
Yeah.
But don't make it a focus. Because
Don't make your next album trying to get a Grammy.
at the end of the day, it don't mean shit.
They don't.
It does get you more opportunities. Grammy
guess.
nominated, Grammy award winning artist. It
Album
sounds
sales do
great.
jump up.
It sounds great. So I'm not oblivious to what it does do for your career because it can be a great look.
Absolutely.
And it can have those casual people. Oh, Grammy nominated artists. Let me listen.
Wow.
You know? So I understand what it does for, you know, the career but at the end of the day, if you don't get it, cool.
Cool.
That's just
Some of the
how.
best never got one.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. If you don't get it, cool. If you do, take in the moment. I still don't give a damn about the Grammys.
No.
But if you do get invited to Grammy or something, network.
Yeah, definitely.
Celebrate. Yeah,
Celebrate.
network.
You got a better chance of getting a
You know-
Grammy off of Drake's Instagram when he gives them away.
Well, I'm just
online.
saying, you
Yeah.
use that opportunity to be like, hey, I want to reach out to this person. Maybe
Yeah.
you get a chance to
Do a
meet
collab.
somebody and everything like that. So that's why I'm not all the way fuck the Grammys because you don't know what can come from it.
Oh, I see.
But the process of it is still just trash.
The only thing I don't like is you said don't make it a focus, which is like I think some companies do, and
Companies
the
do.
music starts to change a bit. Let's make it a bit more Western so it's appealing to
Yeah.
the mass audience.
Let's
I think
go
that
get
is
Ed Sheeran to write our next couple.
yeah,
songs.
like that's
right.
Grammy bait. It's Grammy bait. Just like people do Oscar bait, they do Grammy bait as well. That's definitely a thing. But yeah, it's whether it's important or not, I don't know. Maybe to the actual artist, but at the same time, say, hey, like if a small one, say Purple Kiss randomly won a Grammy, you can bet I'm going to be yelling up the mountain about that.
got a Grammy.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'll
love the
celebrate.
Grammys.
Yeah.
I have a quick follow-up question just based off of y'all. Does that make a difference if it's like just them performing opposed to being nominated?
No, I think
Or-
it's a
or-
big deal for them to perform at the Grammys
Yes.
because a lot of eyes on that. But it's the casuals. It's the casual fans that think every K-pop group is BTS, like my boss. You know?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I saw BTS on the radio Sun Awards. I'm like, yeah, that was NCT 127. Yeah, they're all the same. Like,
Yeah, right.
nah, everybody's not BTS and BLACKPINK, man. There's a lot of different groups. So yeah, it's good for the casual fans to get awareness. But are they going to actually spend money on it?
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and if they wasn't with you in the journey for you to get a Grammy, then I mean, come on now, those new fans that they're thinking about, they may get from that stage. I don't see it. It may look good for the label, you know.
They basically the free to play players.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
That
pretty
makes
much.
sense. I mean,
We're the whales. We're the whales.
Right.
we're the whales. Yeah.
So that's really it, right? That's
Yeah,
the last. Okay.
Obviously, I didn't read well, but yes, I believe that is all now.
Okay.
Prince, did I miss anything?
I don't think so, outside of ones that I think we kind of covered in some ways. Like, does does K-pop only have to sing in Korean? Is K-pop a genre?
Yeah, we've
I
talked
think
about
Sugar,
that.
yeah, Sugar answered this on
Yeah.
an interview where he said it's not necessarily a genre. I think we have kind of talked about it before,
Mhm.
like how I
Yeah.
wish hip hop was more segmented. I hate the fact that everything is hip hop when we know some is just bullshit. But I'm pretty sure K-pop artists feel the same. They
Yeah.
wish that it was more segmented.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have to speak in Korean just to make K-pop. I mean, you don't have to speak in English to do American pop music. You don't have to speak in Spanish to do reggaeton, music. You know what I mean? You don't.
You said reggaeton?
I mean, yeah,
He did say that.
yeah. All right. No, I'm just saying, like, cause well, not reggaeton. Yeah, reggaeton. Most people, someone like Don Omar and all of them, they
Okay.
would speak in Spanish.
Okay.
You don't have to speak in one of the 1,000 African languages to do Afrobeat. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always thought of K-pop as more as an industry than anything. I've always said that, because how can you label something as a genre that covers 100+ genres? Like, how can you can't do that? So it's an industry. It's the byproduct of that trainee process, debuting, interaction with fans. That's what makes it unique, and that's what makes something K-pop. A Korean artist doing just Korean music in the US, like, that's not K-pop. But having the promotion schedule, having that's what makes it K-pop to me in my head.
Jackson Wang and K-pop, man. Stop calling it that. That's what the comment said. So Prince, man, thank you so much.
I appreciate it
for coming by, man. At some point, hopefully, we can get this gangbuster episode together where we can have everybody that was on the Tune Trials on it together. So that would be Prince, differently like Thina and Locke. If we can figure out a time, because everybody's on different time zones, so it's gonna be crazy. But if we can get it to happen, that would be really dope.
Absolutely.
Have everybody interacting and kind of keep trying to grow on the K-pop reactor community, so we're not so segmented. And because sometimes you do a reaction and you just want to go vent. But yeah, man, you want to tell everybody, everything that they can go pay or check out for free?
where can you give me money?
Right, exactly.
So, no, I mean, you can go to my YouTube channel, KpopPrince. Everything's free there. I don't consider myself a prince. That's my name. I'm sorry, I can't change. I mean, I could change it, but I'm not going to. But yeah, I react there on I would like to say active pace. And then over on Patreon, where I'm actually going to be moving soon to Fourth Wall, but Patreon is still up and running, doing a lot of shows on there. Queendom Puzzle, Boys Planet. We do tons of Le Seraphim recently. Live stages, album reactions are on there because they're a mess to put on YouTube. So there's something for you. And also our Discord community is very unhinged, but wholesome and very welcoming to everybody. Absolutely unhinged by the opening, if you remember, they're out of their minds. But we'd gladly welcome you. We have hundreds upon hundreds of people in there, but 25 really active people. So just people lurking. Speak up. We won't bite. It's nice in there. So yeah, check out some of the stuff, and hopefully you find something that you vibe with. There's definitely a group there that you love that I have reacted to. So
yeah, man. And you guys, I'm assuming people know where to find our stuff. I mean, we're here on YouTube. We also have a Patreon, and we have some stuff coming.
And thank you for listening to Is This Podcast.
Yeah, if you got to this point, man, we love you guys. Just give you a virtual hug.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes,
yeah,
for all the feedback. We love it. We love it.
And we would love to see you guys combos of actors and artists being actors in the comments, and also let us know about your foot fetishes.
Oh God, you had to bring it back.
You had to.
What color are those toenails?
Oh. All right, this will just be my thing, I guess.
All right, you guys.
All right.
Peace.